BK and Ferrario are broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Into the corner now to Oscar Sundqvist, back to Holloway, score! Get it to the right side, in, Snuggerud shoots, score! Sniped by Snuggerud! Two stick breaks, they shoot, they score! Ratu fanned on the shot when his stick broke, and that's a hat trick for Sherwood. To the line, Fowler, shot, rebound, score! Suter off the rebound. With 5 seconds remaining in the power play. Trying to win it for Vancouver. In on Bennington. Shoots. Scores. Vancouver wins in the shootout.
I love the way we fought back. Some of the goals that we gave up, we got to be smarter. We got to continue to build in the right way. We did build tonight. It's a step in the right direction. We need to win that game. It's that simple.
It's 11:08. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers and officially licensed.
11:08. Your time check. 11:08.
It's Friday, man. Welcome to the show.
Happy Halloween.
Alongside Alex the T-Bone, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN.
11:08.
Mahomes long body. 11:07. Thanks for joining us, fellas.
Sorry, we were a little late today. Slow moving this morning.
There, Alex was a little behind.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers at 11:08. What do you guys want to get into today?
How about the Blues?
Yeah.
Alex is upset.
No, man. I'm actually happy. I'm happy. It's 11:08.
The ironic part. Hey, man, you're paid to be here for 3 hours, so if it's 2 hours, 52 minutes, so be it.
Hot damn.
The Blues lost last night.
No, they didn't. They played well, man.
They did get a point.
Big point, all right? High five.
And according to Money Puck, they were the better team.
Well, what was the deserve to win-o-meter at?
67%.
That damn deserve to win-o-meter.
Alex, they have now failed to win every game since October 18th.
Wow. That's one way to put it.
And it's really frustrating to watch.
It is. It's the longest losing streak they've had since they lost that 7 straight back after they won 3 in a row.
God.
Looked that up last night.
They played better last night.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the process, it was better.
Don't rub your eyes, T-Bone.
And yet,
They were wandering.
they still lose.
Yeah.
Because the mistakes that they make, man, it reminds me so much of Mizzou football. I heard Gabe DeArmond say this earlier in the week. He was like, hey, listen, Missouri's a good team. They outplay everybody that they go up against. Like, you could argue they have outplayed every single team that they have played so far this year. They were the better team for 60 minutes. And yet they've lost 2 games, and they were, within a possession late in the game against Kansas and South Carolina as well. But for most of those games, you look at it, you're like, how is this game close? And the answer is because defensively, when they're wrong, it's a 80-yard touchdown going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case against Vandy, where it's an 80-yard score. It was the case against Alabama, where it's like 4th and 17, and they give up this huge play. It's the case against South Carolina, where it's guys just running wild into your secondary, free roaming out there. So that's the Mizzou side of it. For the Blues, it's these silly turnovers in their own end. It's breakaways going in the other direction. It's backdoor tap-ins where, like, the expected goal number is 1. It's guaranteed that it's going to be a goal when you have these opportunities. And that still felt like it was the case again last night. Mm-hmm. So you played well for like 52 minutes, but the 8 minutes where you didn't play well were so bad that it's enough for you to lose that game against, I don't know, half of a Vancouver roster. So what did you make of the loss last night, Alex?
Look, it sucks that they lost, and I think we can say that up front and get that out of the way. You heard Montgomery say they should have won that game. Yeah, they should have won that game. But to me, that felt like a game that there was progress in. Because I don't know about you guys, but that game was a lot more exciting than the previous 5 games in this losing streak. That game actually felt like things were happening for the Blues. You're not wrong. There's mistakes. Ken Hitchcock used to always say this, that you're going to lose a game when you're in the midst of a slump. You're going to lose a game that you should have won. And that's when you start to pull yourself out of it. And last night felt like that was it for the Blues. They still got issues in terms of turning the puck over at the worst time. They still have puck management issues of not understanding where they're at in the game. That second goal that Sherwood scored, that's on Broberg. That's on Broberg to turn around, look behind him, and realize he's making a line change, or there's guys making a line change, and Parayko's jumping up into the rush. And he doesn't put the puck in north. He goes east-west. But to me, you outshot them 39-18. Both of their final 2 goals were scored on the first shot of the period. So they didn't have a shot in that second period until the 10:42 mark, which was a goal. The third period, they didn't have a shot on goal until the 7:04 mark, which was a goal. So, like, those are things that, yeah, you got to clean up. You got to make the damn save at some point, or you got to stop turning the puck over. But, man, out shooting them 39-18, out attempting them 75-53, that felt like the Blues made steps towards what they're trying to accomplish. Pronger told us yesterday they don't have an identity. At least on the offensive side, I think they found an identity last night. So, yes, I enjoy 6-game losing streaks, as the text line says. Alex is happy that the Blues have lost 6 in a row. No, I'm not. But what I am happy about was that felt like a competitive game. The last 5, the game was over in the first period, guys. The game was done the moment the other team scored 2 goals.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Who was the best Canucks forward on the ice last night?
Kiefer Sherwood.
No, well, let me ask this a different way. Yes,
he had a hat trick.
For that game, he was the best. But overall, like...
I mean, they still had Elias Pettersson. They still had Jake DeBrusk.
Okay.
I mean, those are two guys that if you put them on your team, they're in their top 6.
Yeah, DeBrusk is probably a third-line winger for, like, a good team.
I mean, we talked about signing him as a second-line winger for the Blues. Pettersson is, regardless of how you feel about him, he's a star in the National Hockey League.
They were hurt to high hell last
They
night.
were missing Quinn Hughes. They were missing Quinn Hughes.
And
they were
Besser.
Sure,
for basically the entire game outside of 33 seconds.
Poor Besser, man. He took it in the nards 2 seconds into the game. That man dropped, and oh, God.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they lost Besser. Absolutely. And they didn't have Quinn Hughes, and they didn't have Connor Garland.
So,
that's a pretty big deal,
Sure,
man.
The Blues were without Robert Thomas and Jake Neighbors. Oscar Sundquist was playing in your top 6 last night.
Understood. But this whole, like, they found their game thing, maybe. Or maybe they went up against an opponent that was ripe for the taking, and they looked better for 50-ish minutes.
Sure.
And they still lost.
Sure. But you know what? Compare that to what they did in the previous 5 games, where they looked lifeless for 50 of the 60 minutes.
Congratulations for meeting the bare minimum requirements of attempting to score. Like, what?
Again, this team was in such a bad spot that you weren't going to dig yourself out of this just in one game. Would you have liked an ugly win? Sure. Even if they would have won that game in a shootout, we'd still be acting as if, well, you should have won that game in overtime, or you should have won that game in regulation.
See, I wouldn't care, because to me it was pass-fail.
Exactly.
And that's where I come from that game. They are so beat up in Vancouver. It's one thing to be without Thomas Neighbors. I agree. Take Thomas Neighbors and add like 5 guys to what Vancouver's dealing with.
There was 3 guys that they were without that matter. We're not going to act as if Lecker-Maki was a real impact player for the Vancouver Canucks.
The Blues need to
Shut
get
up.
points right now.
It's 11:08.
No, it's 11:15 now. But I looked at that game as like I would when it's like Mizzou going against South Carolina in football. That was a pass-fail game. I don't care how you won, right? You could have flipped the shots and given it to Vancouver against the Blues. They walked out of there with 2 points. I would have said, okay, at least they did their job. And they walked out with 1. I'm not over here saying that I've raised my alarm bell up to a 10, because we did say if they lost to the Canucks, we were going to do that. They dominated. They played well. Yes, offensively, maybe things clicked. But I said yesterday, let's not fall for something in this game against Vancouver. The offense did look better. They did the same thing they've done for most of the year, which was they played, 45 minutes of good hockey. Because their mistakes were the same things that we've seen this year.
They didn't play 45 minutes of good hockey. They had 3 mistakes that went in the back of their net.
You get my point, though? They didn't put together a full 60 last night.
Yeah, they made mistakes,
and
but those mistakes, compare those mistakes to the mistakes that they were making in the game against Detroit, against Utah, against Pittsburgh. No, it's not the same thing. They played one bad period in those games.
It's a play behind the net where Binnington doesn't get it to fall. We can talk about puck luck on how that puck bounced. We can. But
I like arguing with you. You don't piss me off as much as he pisses me off.
The funny thing is I'm saying what he would probably be saying.
Yeah, but his face pisses me off more than yours does. I like your face.
But it was a mistake there behind the net from Binnington. And then that second goal, I mean, you mentioned it. You can't have both defensemen in there. And all of a sudden, there's two easy goals there. The third one, look, I'm not going to criticize the third one. Broken stick, hell of a shot. I watched the highlights again this morning. I always do this after watching the game just to refresh my memory. The Vancouver Canucks broadcaster said while they were watching highlights, I still don't know how that puck went in.
I have no idea how.
So
I think Binnington was watching the stick.
But again, it's the same stuff that we have seen. And because it was the Canucks, I think the offense looked better.
Here's where, in my opinion, it was different. How did they look after they gave up those goals?
I mean,
they were different.
They responded, but again, it's the Canucks, right? Like, this is a beat-up Canucks team. Yes, they did respond to this game, okay? They go up against Detroit, who had been playing well. They go up against the Kings, who had been playing well. Now, the Kings were beat up.
Kings were without Kopitar. Detroit was without Patrick Kane.
And I would have called that a pass.
But they were bad in 40 of those 60 minutes in those games. Like, this, to me, here's where the progress was, in my opinion. And look, you guys are probably right. I guarantee this text line right now is lighting me up because I'm a rights holder, and the Blues are going to send me my check later on today, probably. They won't.
It is payday.
Here's progress. In those games, and I gave you guys the stats yesterday, of the 43 goals, they'd given up 8 in terms of 2-minute spans. When one goal goes in, the Blues just shut it down. You even sent the text last night, that goal went in, this game's over. And what did the Blues do? They responded. They took the lead. Then they tied the game. Now, they gave up a goal that, my God, I can't believe they challenged that, the goalie interference. I thought it was goalie interference, but when Monty was like, 80% chance it was good, I'm like, man, that game was over if you got that wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, that to me was progress.
It was probably over if they got it. If they got it wrong, it was probably over either way.
Yeah,
and if they didn't challenge it, probably over as well.
You're right.
It's worth the challenge.
Take the shot, and especially if they felt like it was 80%. But to me, this was progress. Now, all of this is a moot point if they go out there and just ish the bed Saturday against Columbus. Because guess what? You're doing the bunny hop. You know what happens to the bunny hop? You jump forward, you go backwards 3 steps. That's not progress. But if you go out there and play the same way you played against the Vancouver Canucks that were depleted, and you go in Columbus and you play the same style and you win that hockey game and you tighten up the mistakes that you made, then they did what they were supposed to do. It sucks that it took 6 games in a row to get to this point, but they didn't have an identity. Now it felt like they gained the confidence that they needed, and you got to take steps forward.
He's Alex Ferrario. That's Tanner Hendrickson. I'm Brandon Kiley. It's
Love
PK
you,
and
T-Bone.
Ferrario here on 101
Love
ESPN. In 15 minutes, we're going to talk to Mike McKenna for our weekly conversation with the former NHL goalie. He'll give us his thoughts on the game last night, what it's like to go through a stretch like this as a hockey player. You lost 6 in a row. How are you feeling inside of that locker room right now? We'll ask Mike McKenna in 15 minutes. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. You can check us out on YouTube, as always, at youtube.com/101ESPN STL. By the way, we're broadcasting live today at the ENB Granite Studios out at the Centene Community Ice Center. We've got Bradford Bruns back in the studio for us today. Last night, we saw in the NFL, the Ravens took down the Miami Dolphins. No real surprise there. The margin of victory, though, the way that the Ravens looked, this team might be back.
Progress from the Dolphins.
Might be the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens once again in the AFC, same as it always was. We'll talk about that next year on 101 ESPN.
The Spread Zone, where sports betting meets reckless optimism, questionable logic, and the occasional stroke of genius. With hosts Anthony Stalter, Tim McKernan, and Scott Rizzuto. Check out the latest from the Spread Zone at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. The Spread Zone is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. picks for this week's Fastlane Pick'em Challenge at 101ESPN.com. Show off your football knowledge and see if you can top the Fastlane and the dudes from the Rizzuto Show on the point for this week's top score. The top scorer each week scores a Bud Light NFL cooler stocked with 101 ESPN and point swag. It's the Fastlane and the Riz Show throwing down all football season long in the Pick'em Challenge. Enter your picks for this week now at 101ESPN.com.
The Fastlane Pick'em Challenge is refreshed by Bud Light, official beer of the NFL. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. Bradford Brown's back in the studio for us today. Same as it ever was. The Ravens win last night. They're now 3-5. They're the favorite to win the AFC North.
It's like we never left.
They won 28-6 against the Dolphins. The Dolphins saw enough last night to say, you know what? Get out of here, Chris Greer. Chris Greer?
Yeah, Chris Greer. Yeah, Mike Greer is his brother in San Jose, which I found out today.
He is the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. He is no longer the general manager of the Miami Dolphins.
Soon to be
Their
assistant
coach is still going to be there. Mike McDaniel got the vote of confidence today. He's going to remain their head coach, according to reports this morning.
He looks like he wants to be fired.
Until at least the end of this regular season. So the Dolphins are a rudderless ship. That thing is going nowhere fast. The Ravens, meanwhile, though, they were the real story to me last night, Alex. Their defense is apparently fixed. I don't know how this happened. They were horrible for the first, 5 weeks of the season. I understand some of that was due to injury. Some of it, though, was they just weren't playing well.
Are they really fixed, though?
I think so, because
Miami.
They allowed 17 points against the Rams. They get into their bye week, and then last week they allowed 16 against the Bears, who had been playing pretty well offensively. And then this week they shut down the Dolphins, which I understand the Dolphins are not a great team. Their offense has been better than that, though. They looked completely directionless last night. So kudos to the Ravens. They've been playing better lately. Lamar Jackson last night averages 10 yards per attempt, throws 4 touchdowns, no picks. Derrick Henry once again goes for 100 yards on the ground. Are they back? Is this once again a contender in the AFC, Alex, despite the record?
Yeah, they're back. Now, contender is a loose term for me. I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender, but they're going to be in the playoffs. I mean, look, they've already won 2 straight, and if you believe that the defense is fixed, which it's hard to disagree with what you just said, then I think they're going to win the next 6 games. You got the Vikings, you got the Browns, you got the Jets, you got the Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. If they don't, 5 of 6, but I think they win the next 6 because you got Lamar Jackson back. Derrick Henry's fine. If the defense is at least better than what it was, you're better than all 6 of those teams. And you just rattled off 8 straight, and you're 9-5. And then you got the final couple of games, Ravens, Packers, Steelers. Those will be tough. So, yeah, you're a playoff team. You're the best team in the AFC North. And that was from watching Lamar Jackson back for 1 game. You're the best team in the AFC North.
Yeah, I pushed back on that notion. I think it was last week or Monday when we talked about, are they still the favorite in the North? I was like, I kind of lean Pittsburgh. Yeah, no, I'm back. I'm with you guys. I'm back to leaning towards Baltimore because it's really the defense is the one that I'm looking at. And I agree with BK. It feels like it might be fixed now. Now, we'll see, but the last 3 games have been very impressive defensively. I knew offensively they would look pretty good once they got Lamar back, and he was great last night in that contest against the Miami Dolphins. But it feels like the defense, it feels like they're getting back to what their identity has been at the Baltimore Ravens, where we're a stingy defensive team, and then we're also on offense, we're going to run the ball really well. Like you look at the last 3 games for Derrick Henry, 122 rushing yards against the Rams with no touchdowns, 2 touchdowns against the Bears with 71 rushing yards, and then 119 last year. That's the Ravens. And that's what they had kind of gotten away from in the previous couple of weeks. The defense wasn't good, and it forced the offense where they couldn't run the football. Now they're back to their identity, to where I agree with you. I think they are the AFC North favorite. I don't know if I'd be willing to say a Super Bowl contender just yet, but I would at least listen to that conversation.
Yeah, I'm not there at all. I think they're a contender for the playoffs. When I say they're a contender, I think they're a contender in a way that like the New England Patriots are. They'll get to the playoffs. They'll probably lose in either the first round or the divisional round, but they get there. And that, given where this season began for the Ravens, that in and of itself is an accomplishment. Somebody on the text line from the 314 says, guys, it's the Dolphins. You really don't think this could be seen as an overreaction? I think if you're sitting here today saying, oh my God, the Ravens are once again a Super Bowl contender, that to me would be an overreaction from last night. Them being the team that you think is the favorite to win the AFC North, based upon not only last night, but what this defense has done over the last 3 weeks, I don't view that as an overreaction at all. I think that is just looking at the game, seeing the evidence that's in front of you, and reacting accordingly. So I think the Ravens are very much back in contention for a playoff spot, probably as the favorite in their division. This weekend, the big game I mentioned, same as it ever was in the AFC. The Colts have arrived as a real contender in this conference, and I'm not just talking about for the playoffs. They could be a Super Bowl contender this year. I won't be picking them because of the quarterback, but I get it for anybody that has. They've been the best team so far this year. Ravens are back to contention. Bills are in contention in the AFC East. Chiefs are once again in contention in the AFC West. As of today in Vegas, they're the Super Bowl favorites, despite currently being the 7th seed in the AFC. This weekend, we get that wonderful Bills versus Chiefs matchup that we all love watching because it's Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen always has these crazy games against the Chiefs. I was looking at his numbers last night in these games, Alex. He traditionally is 10-plus rush attempts in these games. So you know you're going to get a big Josh Allen on the ground type of a game. So if you got that underdog app ready to go, fired up, let's take the higher on his rushing total in this game or rushing attempts in this game. The stakes in this one, though, are really interesting to me because traditionally, the only thing that's really at stake in these games is the 1 seed. Whoever wins the regular season matchup, they have the leg up for that 1 seed because you now have the tiebreaker over the other team. And more often than not, the winner of that game has been the Bills. The Bills have the Chiefs' number in the regular season, and then the Chiefs take advantage of them in the postseason more often than not. This year's a little different because right now the Bills are in a fight for their lives in the AFC East. They don't have the tiebreaker over the Patriots head-to-head because the Patriots won that first game. They have the same number of losses on the season as the Patriots. So if they lose this game, they're a game back without the tiebreaker against New England. The Chiefs are still in a battle for the division. They're also trying to get back into contention for that 1 seed and potentially the bye. They do have a head-to-head game coming up against both the Broncos and the Colts after this one. So you have the ability to beat the teams in front of you. How are you looking at this game, Alex, and the meaning of it in the bigger picture for this AFC playoff race?
To me, I feel like it's meaningless.
Wow.
Because both of them, sorry, buddy, that I didn't mean it to sound as rude.
Like I presented it pretty well.
You did.
How much it matters for both teams, but here we are.
What? I feel like we need like a noise or a sound effect or something. It's not meaningless, buddy. To me, though, it's meaningless. I'll just go that route. Bills and Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. And when they make the playoffs, they're going to be the 2 teams that everybody should be afraid of. So one of the Bills lose this, they're 5-3, and they're looking up at the Patriots and say, we might not win the AFC East. Oh, well, you'll still be in the playoffs. The Chiefs lose this and they can't catch the Colts. They start the season or the playoffs on the road. Oh, well, those are going to be the 2 teams that are going to be left standing in the AFC Championship game if they match up that way. I don't know how that works in terms of if both aren't winning their division or whatnot.
It depends on. There's so many different factors that can go into that.
So with that being said, they might match up in the second round, but they're going to be the 2 teams that when the playoffs start in the AFC, everyone's saying they're the team that you got to beat if you want to win the Super Bowl.
Does there come a point in time, though, where you look at the Chiefs and they become the Bengals from last year, where it's like, hey, you have to win games at some point. Because if you lose this game, you're 5-4 on the season. And you've got the bye week coming up. The next week, though, they go on the road to Denver. I know Denver's not anybody's favorite to win the AFC.
Picks.
They could lose that game, though. The Chiefs could. Denver's good, man. They have a great defense, a genuinely excellent defense, might be the best in the league. And they follow that up with a game at home against Indianapolis, who's been beating the hell out of everybody so far this season. So, I mean, it's at least in play that the Chiefs could lose their next 3 games. Suddenly you're 5-6 on the season. And if you lose one more game, you're at risk of missing the playoffs entirely this year. So I think it matters a decent amount, for the ceiling of the season, because either of these teams, whoever wins, they'll very much still in play for the 1 seed. And also for the floor of it, because, man, if you don't win this game, especially if you're the Chiefs, it starts to become a math problem where you just have to get these wins, because otherwise, where are they coming? It becomes more difficult to envision a scenario where A, you win your division, which does matter, I think, and B, you get in like to a dicey situation where you become the Bengals of last year, where everybody's afraid of you. You're the Super Bowl favorite, but you might miss the playoffs entirely.
Yeah, and I guess what I would say is, because I kind of lean more towards Alex's side, is I guess I won't panic till it's too late, you know? And that's just how much trust I have in Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, to where I look at it and go, okay, does really going on the road matter? As long as you just get in as a 7, I think you're going to be a team that can get to the Super Bowl. And I understand what you're saying, and that's why I say, like, I probably won't panic till it's too late. Yeah, these next 4 games will tell me what the ceiling is of their defense, at the Bills, at the Broncos, Colts, and then at the Cowboys, because those are 4 decent offenses you're going up against. I don't expect them to lose their next 3. I don't expect them to lose 3 or 4. I expect them to win 3 or 4, if not all 4 of them.
I think it's pretty easy to make the argument this is the biggest and most meaningful game in the Patrick Mahomes era in the regular season.
My God, man.
I'm being serious because of what it means for your ceiling and because of what it and like what you guys are basically saying is that no regular season game matters for the Chiefs and for Patrick Mahomes, which is a fair argument because of what they've been. But like when you think about where this team is at right now, they've very rarely been in a situation where regular season games do matter, because oftentimes they're so out in front of everybody else in the AFC. The 1 seed is basically all but locked up by this point in the regular season for the most part. And so like the early season games just don't have the same cachet attached to them because, you know, it's week 3. Like how much does a week 3 game really matter in the grand scheme of things? It matters a lot, but it doesn't feel the same way because of the stakes that are attached to it. And the Buffalo games are oftentimes toward the beginning portion of the regular season. And the Chiefs have already built up when they're later on, they have already built up such a significant lead that what's it matter? I think there are real stakes attached to this one. I know maybe I'm alone. Clearly on this show I am alone, but I think this might be the most meaningful regular season game that the Chiefs have played so far in the
I know you're playing this whole like, I'm not a Chiefs fan, I'm not a Chiefs honk like card right now, but I won't worry about this team. There are no stakes for this team until they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, this is my question. Do you have a real concern that they could miss the playoffs?
No.
Because like I don't. Like even if they did lose to Buffalo, I'm not concerned that they miss the playoffs. I'm not concerned if they have to go on the road, even if that means that they probably one concern I would get is, well, boy, what if you have to run into Buffalo like in the divisional round rather than the championship round? I go, well, I don't care that it's on the road. I saw you 2 years ago go to Buffalo and beat the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs.
They haven't even lost 3 in a row yet this season.
This is where I'm going to panic when it's too late, right? I'm going to panic when they're probably eliminated. I'll go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, they will probably miss the playoffs. Well, yeah, they got an E next time.
Well, yeah,
Am I worried about it? No. But I do think that it is something that people probably aren't crediting enough because of what lies ahead. If their schedule the rest of the way is what Buffalo's schedule is the rest of the way, this game doesn't matter. Their schedule isn't. I mean, they've still got at Denver. They've got Indy. They've got Houston, which is a really good defense, if nothing else. Another game against Denver remaining on their schedule. Like, there are just still a lot of potentially losable games because weird stuff happens. They shouldn't have lost that game against Jacksonville either, but a pick 6 happens and they end up losing. They're on the wrong side of that one, 31-28. Like, when you play against quality opponents, especially when you do so on the road, your margin for error is very slim. So if you end up losing this game, everything is still very much on the table. I still think they're the Super Bowl favorites. I'm not like, you guys know where I stand on this team. I think they're the best team in the NFL, and I think they will get to the playoffs. I think they will win the Super Bowl. Eventually stuff matters. Like, eventually the wins start to matter, and I think this week is when it does start to matter to a degree for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, he's Alex, that's T-Bone, I'm BK, Mike McKenna next year on 101 ESPN.
Ready to hit the fairway with a crew from the morning after? 101 ESPN and Michelob Ultra present the Tee It Up with TMA giveaway. One lucky winner and a guest will score a free round of golf with Tim and Jackson of the morning after at Fox Run Golf Club. The guys will bring the banter, the birdies, and of course the Ultra. And you just need to bring your swing. It's your chance to hang out and enjoy a laid-back round with Tim and Jackson. Use the code SWING to get entered to win now. Either at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. Must be 21. The Tee It Up with TMA giveaway is courtesy of Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Hey, it's BK, and it is time to unlock your inner champion. The place to do so is with my friends over at Victory Men's Health. They can unlock your inner champion the same way they have for me. In fact, Alex, I set up an appointment recently. I'm going to be going out to Victory Men's Health once again. I'm going to get some more of the blood draws, find out where my levels are at right now, see if they've changed at any point over the last few months, so that way they can find out what I need to supplement my health to make sure that I am the best version of myself. That is what they do for me. For you, it might look a little bit different. Maybe it's weight loss goals that you're trying to meet. Maybe it's low testosterone symptoms that you've been feeling, erectile dysfunction, whatever it may be. Check them out today online at victorymenshealth.com. When you get to their site, you can read about all of the services that they have to offer for you to unlock your inner champion. It's also where you book that first appointment, which is an incredibly easy process. Go over to their website, again, victorymenshealth.com, put in your name, email, phone number, tell them BK with 101 ESPN sent you, and then tell them what it means for you to unlock your inner champion. It's all at Victory Men's Health and online today at victorymenshealth.com.
Sunday morning, it's an NFL triple header. Game 1, Lions and Vikings. Game 2, Raiders and Jaguars. Game 3, Commanders and Seahawks. Coverage starts at 11. Your destination for the NFL in St. Louis is 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues lose shootout style. Good morning. I'm Bradford Bruns with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Last night at Enterprise Center, St. Louis secured its first point since October 21st, but still ended up on the wrong side of the ledger. Vancouver winning 4-3 as that losing streak reaches 6 games entering tomorrow's tussle in Columbus. We'll have puck drop shortly after 6 p.m. Shortly beforehand, though, 101 ESPN featuring a top Week 10 clash college football-wise. It's number 9 Vandy visiting Texas. Another morning kickoff pits Illinois against Rutgers. Mizzou idle until next Saturday when Texas A&M hits Memorial Stadium. Later this evening, Toronto vying for Fall Classic glory. Blue Jays Dodgers coverage beginning post-Fastlane. This Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet plus Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
This is BK and Ferrario Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. We're going between the pipes with former NHL goaltender Mike McKenna.
Mike McKenna. How do you like me now?
Between the Pipes is refreshed by Macadoodle Spirits, fine wine, beer, and cigars. Now open in Darden Prairie.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. Happy to be joined in studio on a Friday by our guy, Mike McKenna, former NHL goalie. He joins us each and every Friday on behalf of Macadoodles, and when I turn on my mic, it works out really well. Mike, how you doing today,
That little
man?
red button works pretty well, doesn't it?
It's wild. Mike knows to turn his mic on, and you don't.
Well, it's one of the first things that people will bury on about is, hey, when you get off, hit the button. So, nobody can hear you. So,
Yeah, I'm pretty good about turning it off. It's the turning it on part that becomes a difficulty for me.
yeah, no, I'm doing well. You know what? It's last night was Devil's Night. The day before Halloween.
I was going to say, what is it like? Did the Devils play last night? I don't think they did.
No, I think, you know what? It's funny. I think that's only a Detroit term. There's actually,
Is it really?
I guess so. Like, that's when they try to burn the city down every Devil's Night, the night before Halloween.
checks out.
But,
My kids will probably do that tonight, so.
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit in the driveway with several refreshments from Macadoodles and not move from that fire pit and hand
That's a
out
good way to go
candy
about it.
and watch the world be happy and in motion and children having a great time and out and about. And I love Halloween,
I do
man.
too.
I really do.
Were you having a great time last night watching the Blues?
You know what I did?
Thank you, Mike.
Man, it's tough
A
to.
better time.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, anytime you see them double another club up in shots, they're doing something better. It's still, yeah, man, they lost the game. Okay. I get that part of it. But some of the efforts that we saw and the key part of that game that I saw was, one, I thought Dalibor Dvorsky did a nice job.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a really good sign for this team. I also think it's one of the best games I've seen Dylan Holloway play in a while. And, my dad's such a good reference point for this, right? Because I come in here Fridays and we always skate in the morning and we kind of debrief because he's an off-ice official with the NHL. And he's like, when you come off an injury and a rehab, you're not always right away. It takes a little bit. And, yeah, it's been, we forget that Holloway missed that time. And even though you're coming into a season fresh as can be, you're still getting your timing back on things. So he was physical, man. He had a couple of huge hits last night.
Mm-hmm.
And even leading up to the first goal that he scored, that was a great shift. Like it was 40 seconds, minute worth of ozone pressure off a drive where they controlled the play. So there were great signs. No good that they lost. Still a couple of bad open ice areas to let the goals against, but there was definite progress.
So those open ice areas, because Montgomery was harsh after the game, which I would expect him to be, because when you're in a losing streak like that, Mike, it's not a fun place to be. But it's just so odd, these breakdowns that they're seeing. They've allowed the third fewest shots on goal in the National Hockey League, but when they're giving them up, it's in the dead center of the ice, and it's not Mayu and Tucker doing it. It's Parayko, Fowler, and Falk doing it.
It's porous is the word,
That's a good word.
with a U.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm trying to spell it in my head. I think it's Pourous. Porous.
But that is what you see is the D are so active in the Blues system, which I love. But it's also the responsibility of forwards to realize, okay, I'm F3 here. I've got to support my teammates and be the person that's closer back at the blue line. And, the goal that Sherwood scored on the break yesterday was a great example where Broberg got caught deep, which happens. He's the wraparound king of the world. We know that. He almost scored on another one last night. And I'm literally thinking of you guys going, here we go. There's Broberg on the wraparound. But man, if you're F2 or F3 as a forward, like you're covering up, you have to be high. And if you mix in a line change involved there, man, you're really exposed. So that's the frustrating part because these are details. These are awareness things. This is not a system that lends itself to being as porous as it has been when everybody is turned on at all times. But in that aggressive of a system, man, if you take a shift off, if you just turn your brain off for a shift, it can end up in the back of your net.
And that's what's frustrating to me watching it last night because, I agree. They looked much better last night. They also were going up against a team that's beat up, but the Blues are beat up. So, all of this stuff, whatever. their mistakes are so critical in nature that they're giving up grade A opportunities. So even when they're the better team for, 50 minutes last night, those 10 minutes where the opposition is better than you, they're like, you're maybe 10% better than them for 50 minutes. They're 150% better than you for those 10 minutes. And so it's hard to say just how much that matters, because when that consistently happens over the first, 11 games of the regular season, it's hard for me to believe that that's just magically going to get better. So are you seeing signs that it will, though?
Well, from the tactical standpoint, yeah. But I'm really thinking about this, and I've thought about this a lot from the players' perspective the last week or so since we last talked. And we can drill down on the system play and the individual play all you want, but right now, like, that locker room just isn't feeling it. Even though I know that what they did last night proved to themselves that, hey, we've still got it, we can play good hockey, but then they end up losing. And then it couples with, Shen loses the puck. Like, it's when things are rolling downhill, that's where your heart drops. And right now it feels like the team just has too many heart drop moments where we're trying so hard, and then, one mistake. But when you're rolling, those mistakes don't matter. It happens once, you go back to work, and you can kind of see that metastasizing amongst the team there. I still feel like there's kind of a hesitancy among them, or a letdown to them, that they haven't gotten over that hurdle yet, because they don't quite believe yet. It takes 3, 4, 5 games worth of really good hockey. It's not a one-game fix. And, I was up here at Centene, where we're broadcasting from live today, and we were up top on Wednesday, and we had a Pee Wee Quebec alumni game that was an absolute blast. I'm playing in that game was so much fun. And we go upstairs afterwards, and there were 3 Blues players there. And, man, 2 of the 3 were just, like, all smiles, amazing with the kids, turned on, signing autographs, talking to everybody. And one of the players was just really down, you could see. And the player inside me is going, oh, man, if I'm the captain of this team, I'm pulling this guy aside and saying, put a smile on your face, because it's not just going to do you well at this event and for the community. It's going to do you well as a person, because if you can just in your head say, man, I'm going to be here and be present and smile and be happy, your mood the next day is going to look a lot better. And I watched the game last night. That player looked like he was down on himself, So this is where you have to start finding wins away from the ice and away from the rink. And sometimes it just takes going and doing something totally different in the community that can kind of get you going in the right direction.
So who pulls the team? Who pulls a teammate? Who pulls the team out of that? Is it the captain? Is it the coach's staff? Or is it just that individual player?
Well, there's every guarantee in my mind says Braden Shen's doing everything possible.
Agreed.
What else do you want him to do? He's trying to fight people. He's fighting anybody to fight. He's scoring. What I love about Braden Shen is that you just see so much Kelly Chase in him, and that Sasky boy thing is real, but that is unique to the Blues. Like, it filters through the generations, what Kelly's done and to these guys. It's really on everybody kind of pulling somebody aside. It's not just a captain. Like, it needs to come from the buddy sitting next to you in the locker room, because that's who you're closest to. You're sitting next to this guy here. Hey, man, come on, let's go. Cheer up a little bit. Let's have some fun today. Like, you don't need the boss man coming around and cracking a whip. You just need your friend to say, hey, come on, let's go have some fun, and we'll have lunch afterwards. And lunch is always at the rink, though.
Lunch is on me, meaning the team.
Yeah.
What did you see? By the way, we're talking to Mike McKenna, former NHL goalie. He joins us each and every Friday. We'll ask him about what's going on at Macadoodles here in just a minute. But what did you see from the young guys last night? That was one of Alex's biggest takeaways from the game was, hey, Snuggerud with a great shot. Dvorsky looked good. Seemed like maybe a little bit better of a game from Logan Mailloux outside of the penalties as well. What did you see from the young guys that stood out to you?
Yeah, the penalties they're still a concern with this team, especially you're up 1-0 and you take a penalty within like 2 minutes. It's just, and the late in the period stuff with this team is really starting to frustrate everybody, I know. But Dvorsky not just looking comfortable with the puck on his blade, but really having a pretty good grasp of the system, it looked like to me. He was in position often. He was integral to breakouts. If you're disconnected and you're not getting the puck in the D zone or the neutral, you're going, oh, okay, you can see the kind of the minor league effect here, or a different coaching staff, whatever it is. I saw some chemistry there with him and Snuggerud that I liked. And so that I thought it was positive, because this team needs Dvorsky right now, in my eyes. I think that bit of energy and somebody new and different matters. Like, you got somebody to kind of pull for in the locker room. So, it's not good that Thomas is out. It's not good that Neighbors is out, but this has created a great opportunity. Snuggerud, man, I was watching him last night and thought there's actually a lot of kind of Jack Eichel in his game. He may not be a center, but it's really the way that he carries and protects the puck. I think he shoots the puck even better than Eichel, which is crazy. I mean, 80-mile-an-hour snapshots. Come on, man. Like, that's stupid. I watched him after we finished up Friday last week. I went out and watched practice with Snuggerud. This guy loves to shoot the puck. This is not a mirage or a facade or somebody who's doing it for a paycheck. This guy just loves to shoot. He was out there clobbering pucks.
Dvorsky likes to shoot too. And you got two guys that just don't delegate to the veterans. They just say, bleep it, I'm shooting the puck.
Well, and they should. I want them to shoot the puck. They are the ones that can do it with this club. So Snuggerud, outstanding. I thought Joseph kept up with them really well. And I don't mean keep up. I mean, he drives because he has speed that can do it.
He's played well this year. I've been impressed by his game.
He has. Yeah, I agree. And he's had to be versatile going up and down the line. And that's not easy. I'll tell you what, man, the one guy I've really liked this year is Jordan Kyrou. I really have. I think he has truly played his best hockey, his most mature hockey, even with the team not winning. I'm impressed with him this year. It feels like he's coming into his own.
What do you guys have going on this weekend? I would imagine today is a pretty big day over at Macadoodles with Halloween tonight. You got a bunch of sports going on this weekend. You got the World Series tonight, college football tomorrow, NFL action on Sunday. You got the Blues. What can people expect as they go out to Macadoodles this weekend?
I just want people to know that we're open until 9 o'clock tonight.
Wow, there it is.
First and foremost, we are open 9 to 9. One of our industry vets said, yeah, they're going to keep coming. So I'm like, Cheryl, I got you 100%. We'll keep the doors open. But, yesterday we had a huge Halloween bash and we dropped. So it's kind of become a dog whistle on here where if I say, hey, at 2 o'clock, these allocators are going out. As soon as I said it last week, we had people banging the door down at like 10:30, like, where are they? And I'm like, it's like, oh God.
BK and Ferrario reach goes far.
It's the BK Ferrario bump. But we've had some allocated things out that aren't Buffalo Trace things, but we've gotten Castle and Key Weeded back, and we've gotten some Compass Box Scotch that's super different, creme brulee, some Penelope creme brulee. There's fun things out, but we're really starting to get into the holidays. Like our wine room has the Christmas bottles out and displayed, and the Shinerbach Christmas edition is coming, and so we're going to be changing over after this weekend into all our kind of Christmassy things. And today we'll be sampling out a bunch of gooey butter cake cream and chocolate martini cream. And so all the fall things. Four Hands has all their stouts out in our building. And here's a tip for next week. Four Hands is now going to be producing cannabis drinks.
Oh, interesting.
So they have 5 milligram THC drinks coming out next week that we will have at our store. We tried them yesterday, non-dosed yesterday in the store. They were delicious. They were only 30 calories. So keep your eye on that.
He just blew the dog whistle. So plan on what time the door open tomorrow.
Brian and Feisey Road, just north of the Page Extension. I'll be there. So
maybe Alex and I should participate in one of those tastings at some point while we're on the show. That'd be fun, Alex.
You just tell me what legalities are. We've already done a little bit here. I mean, we can run this every week.
Let me just say
that
that's
we're good as long as we're not running a board.
Tanner's the bartender.
We're good so long as we're not running a board. We've got Bradford to do that.
That might be disastrous for my career, but sure, why not?
He's Alex. That's T-Bone. I'm BK. Huge thanks to Mike McKenna for hopping in studio with us as he does each and every Friday. He does so on behalf of Macadoodles. Check him out there in Darden Prairie. Coming up next, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for Ask Us Anything. If you guys have any questions, sports or otherwise, we'll get to those next here on 101 ESPN.
You can now listen to 101 ESPN on demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company. WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios, you're tuned into BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. You've got questions, we may have the answers. Maybe. It's BK and Ferrario's Questions and Answers on 101 ESPN.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for Ask Us Anything. If you guys have any questions, sports or otherwise, go ahead and get them in right now on the Air Comfort Service text line. From the 636, guys, did you all hear that Jackson had a tangent earlier today saying he could easily defeat T-Bone in a game of one-on-one basketball? Does T-Bone plan on accepting his challenge?
Take it, you coward.
I would take Jackson minus 10 in a game of 21.
I would take T-Bone.
Over Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Jackson actually played.
So does T-Bone.
I played. What are you talking about?
And he plays he tells me all the time when he's got nothing to do. He's like, oh, I'm going to play hoops with my friends or something.
Yeah. Why aren't you a good teammate?
I'd take T-Bone.
I don't believe that for a second.
I think T-Bone's got a scary good shot. Jackson's got size. T-Bone's got distance.
Yeah. I said this yesterday because this started from the fast lane questioning Jackson's basketball abilities. And I heard that while I was posting the Redbird Report, which you can check out. There's a new episode now on our YouTube page, 101 ESPN STL.
And right next to it, you can check out the Last Minute Blues podcast.
Way to ruin my promo.
Sorry, buddy. We're teammates.
And I told Jamie, I said, if I was in my prime, I could beat Jackson in basketball. Now it would be a struggle. In my prime, I could. Now,
what is your prime? You're like 23 years old.
26.
All right, you know what? I'm changing my answer.
You're 26?
Yeah.
Are you really 26 years old?
What do you
is
think?
That like because you think I'm
What do you
younger
think
than
a prime is?
Well, for me, it was 18 to 20.
Oh, I'm changing my answer now.
No, I think I can keep it competitive, and I think I've got a chance to beat Jackson.
The part that I think T-Bone survives on is he's got size on him, so he could back him down.
Apparently, the fast lane said it would be them versus us.
Which we'd win.
Who, TMA versus us?
I don't know. I don't know if he was talking about the fast lane versus us. I mean, fast lane would kick our ass. It would be close.
Who's boxing out Kerry?
They've got two former professional athletes. Yeah. They've got Anthony Stalter, who played college baseball and is
none of those are basketball though. Like I'm decent at hoops. No. I can't go if this was TMA versus BK and Ferrario every day of the week.
Just because we've got size.
No, they've got skill still.
Who?
TMA.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like we've got size on TMA.
Yeah,
Tim is not exactly like the
only way we
he played basketball though, right?
I think
you're not giving us enough credit. I think we could survive in basketball. Basketball, you think is this physical sport. It doesn't have to be physical if I'm not going in the paint. They got to go with me.
You're out here like that forward that Mike was just describing. You're bringing this team
You're off
down.
the team. Bradford and Grant are taking your spot.
That's the other thing. We have fewer people than every other.
Yeah, but we could recruit whoever we want. We get one more. We could recruit whoever. Well, I got to recruit too because you're off the team.
Yeah.
There's no camaraderie here.
We're the least athletic show on the station, and that's okay.
You don't
have to acknowledge it.
Whoa.
This show had a college athlete, okay? Just like the fast lane.
I don't know what type of sport you're talking about, but as long as it's non-contact, we are competitive. I'm not going to play contact sports with those guys.
We're not, and that's okay. We just have to be self-aware.
What is wrong with you, man? Have some confidence. You seem like you were a part of the Blues team like 4 games ago.
I say our show sucks, okay?
My hobby is running for distance.
Yeah, that helps in basketball, man. You think they could keep up with you on a fast break?
Also, I don't know that they can dribble. You know, I at least think you could dribble and run.
They might have bad knees. Take them out.
Yeah. Okay. I know they've got bad knees.
There you go.
314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for Ask Us Anything.
We need a new teammate.
Man. Where's Mike? Mike?
Oh, yeah, we can have Mike on our team. Mike's an athlete.
That'll help us.
You could be first aid for the game.
From Joey Vitale's Orange Scully. I thought T-Bone was 40 with just a child's voice.
I've never heard somebody say I'm not in my prime anymore when they're 26 years old.
Hey, it can be true.
From Breakfast Ball, what's your go-to Halloween candy? I'm a Reese's guy. I have to be careful with it, though, because our son has a peanut allergy, so.
Oh, does he?
He's got, it's called F-pies. I don't have to get into it, but basically, like, when he eats peanuts, he throws up. So it's not like a serious allergic reaction the way that some people are, but,
I wouldn't want to deal with that.
Yeah,
from Luca's perspective and yours.
If you're going candy, it's Skittles. If you're going chocolate, it's Kit Kat.
Kit Kat for me. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line.
BK looks like a 1940s basketball star.
That's fair.
He does look like something off of the Hoosiers roster. The guy that's the 7th forward in.
From Big D in the weeds.
Whoa.
Must be acceptable.
BK by fewer people. You mean you're worried that Doug Vaughn is going to dunk on you guys? I say
he's got bad knees too, I bet.
Doug is the one that wouldn't concern me as much from TMA. I do think we might be underselling Martin. I can see Martin being a sneaky good shooter.
I think you can undercut Martin. I think it's fine there. I think you could back him down.
I think Doug would cross you up.
Somebody said maybe challenge them to a marathon. See, now that I am very confident I would win if we did it.
Look, as long as we're not talking contact sport, I give us a shot.
I think the last time I ran a mile was the beer mile, and that was like 4 years ago. No, that's.
I run on the treadmill twice a week.
There you go.
Gator said, I think BK looks like a 1970s tennis player.
Dude, look, you got a little John McEnroe in you.
That one I could see, actually.
Oh, boy. Splashback Deuce, BK and Ferrario can keep stacked so long as Alex doesn't add points in his scorebook.
No numbers for me. No, this scorebook was successful the last game, but
we just haven't had any criticism of it yet.
Yeah, no, we're not going to look at it.
636 I said mathathon, not marathon.
Yeah, there you go.
Mathathon.
Yeah,
I'd give us a shot. Spelling bee, I'd give us a good shot.
We keep track of, 3 goals?
Mahomes long
It's
potty.
fine.
Doug played basketball at Mizzou. Baseball at Mizzou. He's an athlete and still in his prime. T-Bone's out of his prime. T-Bone's still in his.
Doug's in his prime. T-Bone's out of his prime and has been out of his prime for 5 years.
Damn. Somebody on the YouTube chat said BK looks like one of the boxers from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out Nintendo game.
Tanner could win a hot dog eating contest.
Oh, I would have that.
636 said that you guys would win in a Peloton competition. I agree. I think we could win in a Peloton competition. I've
been working on my cardio, so I think I could compete and I could be competitive in that now. Not distance running. That's boring to me. At least Peloton, I could put something in front of me to entertain me.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we're going to get into our football pick'em for the week. I hate basically every line that's available.
Stop me
it's
if
the
you've heard
start
this
of a
before.
new month, so we'll get into that coming up here in about 15 minutes. But next, what is Dvorsky's role if and when Robert Thomas returns? Talk about it next year on 101 ESPN.
I guess I'm obviously down in the paint, but then But then what do we do with the rest of our rotation?
Yeah, wouldn't worry me.
101 ESPN's Blues Fan of the Week.
Congratulations to James Rice from St. Louis, Missouri. He was our newest 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week.
Submit your pick now at 101ESPN.com to be the next Fan of the Week and take home a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blues game.
Our Blues Fan of the Week is presented by CarStar, your auto body repair experts. Locally owned with nationwide warranty. See us at carstar.com.
Blues talk, check out the Last Minute Blues podcast with Alex Ferrario, Donnie Fandango, and Jeremy Rutherford on 101 ESPN. The guys bring you the latest news and nuggets on your St. Louis Blues.
The Last Minute Blues podcast is presented by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Your St. Louis roofing experts. Visit BlueNoteRoofing.com for a free inspection. Watch or listen to the Last Minute Blues podcast now at 101ESPN.com.
BK and Ferrario are broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
What's that, Alex? Keep on PK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Dvorsky looked good last night. I wasn't
really
sure about the decision to call him up. I had my questions about it. Is this just about like a desperation move for the Blues? Credit where it's due. He was awesome. Also played 16 minutes. So it's clear they trusted him and continued to gain more and more trust over the course of the game.
Put him out there with Kyrou and Holloway at times.
Really impressive. Really impressive showing out of him. What does this look like for Dalibor Dvorsky if and when the Blues get Robert Thomas back? It's when. He's coming back, but we just don't know how long it's going to be. But when Robert Thomas returns, what's the plan with Dvorsky, in your opinion, Alex?
He stays in the lineup if this continues. Now, Jim Montgomery was very hesitant to act as if, oh, man, what a game. He said, he's like, look, this was a lot of adrenaline. Let's see what he does when he recovers after that being, knocked around a little bit. And then, of course, you got to go to practice the next day. But I think he survives with this. He just looked like a confident individual. Dvorsky stays, in my opinion. And if he keeps playing this way, he stays in your top six. I mean, it's not that he was good offensively, guys. He was good defensively. He was never on the wrong side of the puck. He was very aggressive with his stick. I think his first 4 faceoffs, he won every single one of them. He finished at 69%. And late in the game, they're putting him out there. So I think when Thomas comes back, in my opinion, Braden Shen becomes a winger. And then is it anything against Braden Shen? I know the numbers don't back this up. I think Shen's been fine. Shen plays the role that you'd expect him to play. But they need somebody to provide that size that Neighbors was. And Pius Suter has been having a lot of success for the team, so Shen goes to the wing. So in my opinion, what happens, Thomas goes where Shen's at, so it'd be Thomas, Buchnevich, and Snuggerud. Dvorsky plays with either Kyrou or Shen, Kyrou or Holloway, Kyrou or Joseph, pick your poison. And then that third line is, again, Shen, Holloway, Joseph with Suter and whomever. Then Sundqvist goes down to your fourth line. And I hate to say this, but Bukestad becomes your healthy scratch. I think that's the right move now. What does it look like when Thomas is available? He didn't skate today, so it doesn't sound like he's going to be available Saturday. We'll find out from Montgomery when he speaks. Dvorsky doesn't go anywhere until he starts to show signs of weakening. And then if he does, as long as it's not detrimental to the team, then you move him down to the third line and you cut his ice time back a bit. And then you hope he gets back up to it. But as of now, Shen moves to the wing, Dvorsky stays at center, and I'd keep him top 6.
I think what you're probably looking at is Booch, Thomas, Snuggie, Shen, Dvorsky, Kyrou, and then Holloway, Suter, Joseph. That's probably the way that you can even this thing out the best way possible, and maybe juggle that up over the course of the game situation.
You'll see Holloway and Kyrou together with
probably
Dvorsky.
Holloway, Shen, Kyrou.
Joseph keeps playing like this, I'd keep him in the top 6 just for the time being. If he keeps playing like this, I mean, he was effective last night.
Yeah, I just like who are you? You're dropping Shen down.
Yeah, he's got to continue. Right now, they got to play the hot hand, so that's the only reason I bring that up.
That's how Montgomery typically does. Is like, I mean, last night after the first shift by Holloway when he scored, you could tell that he was playing well, and they bumped him up and started double shifting him. So they'll double shift guys, they'll drop somebody down. But to me, that middle 6 isn't as important. You could start it that way; it's going to juggle around. But Dvorsky's in my top 6 still as a centerman if he's playing that way. He just brought a different vibe to the game. And you get mismatches with Pius Suter for how good he is in terms of the offensive zone, creating opportunities, and just going to the front of the net.
Somebody from the 636 on the text line said he looked way faster than he did last year. It just seemed like there were quicker decisions. Like even if his foot speed wasn't different, it seemed like everything was processing a little quicker last night.
It also felt like his wingers were creating that too. Like his he was one touch passing to guys out of the zone in smart spots to where he wouldn't put it in a bad area. It would be a drop pass for a guy who started to skate quickly into the neutral zone, and then they were off to the races. But if you go back and watch some of the highlights, when Dvorsky goes into the zone, he goes to one spot. He goes right to the front of the net because he lets his wingers do the work on the boards. He'll create support if he needs to, but as the centerman, your role is to fill the void for everyone else. So if a defenseman pinches in, well, now you got to go back to the blue line. But if a defenseman goes back up, well, now you go down below the goal line. He was rotating, but then would park himself in front of the net while the wingers did the work. So he didn't look slow because his mind was working and he had fast wingers. And that's why I think they put Kyrou and Joseph with him.
Blues off today. They are on the ice currently, and Lou Korak just tweeted out that he hasn't seen Jim Montgomery this vocal at a practice before. Quote, Monty has really been barking at certain points at players during today's drills. A D-zone drill in one, a 6-on-5 drill in another, about as animated as I have seen from Jim Montgomery. Blues back in action tomorrow against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The battle for the blue. Blues versus the Blue Jackets tomorrow night in Columbus on the road. Pre-game for Alex starts at 5. Puck drop for that one tomorrow right here on 101 ESPN at 6 o'clock. Coming up next, the segment that I dread, Alex enjoys, and T-Bone somewhere in between, our football pick'em here at BK and Ferrario.
It's time for another moment in Blues history.
On this day back in 2000, the Blues would have a Halloween victory on the road, winning their 9th game of the year, taking down the Nashville Predators. Craig Conroy would score the first for St. Louis in the first period. Nashville would even up the score, but then 2 back-to-back goals by St. Louis, one by Chris Pronger on the power play and one by Michael Handzus on the penalty kill, would give the Blues a 3-1 lead. Nashville would push back, but then Mike Eastwood would cap off the victory with an empty net goal with 22 seconds left to play.
This date in Blues history is powered by Classic Air Care.
Make your life more comfortable for all your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. ClassicAirCare.com.
you have what it takes to beat the Blues? Tune into BK and Ferrario every week for your shot to take on a member of your St. Louis Blues. And you can win a signed puck and tickets to an upcoming game.
Can You Beat the Blues is presented by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Broadcasting live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
It is time for our football pick-em. We do this each and every week here on BK and Ferrario, and every week I dread it. These guys seem to enjoy it because I get punished at the end of the month, and they don't.
Yeah, Monday I think we'll bring your punishment in. We'll do it on Monday. Good kick off to the week.
Tuesday, Wednesday. There's just a bunch going on Monday.
True.
There's just more stuff.
I agree.
Why? Mizzou's not playing. They're out of the playoffs.
Blues play. World Series is in action.
We're going to have to react to that Blue Jackets
a lot of college football. Yeah, I think
I'm going to bring him Monday. I'm going to bring him Monday, and you're going to eat it.
Okay.
Literally and figuratively.
So if you're new to this, the way that this works, we pick 3 games against the spread. No props, no point totals, just against the spread. Has to be played at some point between tonight and Monday morning when we get in for the show. So no Monday Night Football, no Thursday Night Football, obviously, because that was played last night. We will rank these games on a scale of 1 to 3, and whoever at the end of the month has the fewest points accumulated, that person is punished. It's been me each of the first 2 months. We will also have a punishment for the end of the regular season. Alex is in a pretty good spot for that. Me and T-Bone battling it out at the end of this season. Alex, what is your 1-point play this week?
All right, 1-point play for me. Only reason I'm putting it here is because it is a big spread, but I feel pretty comfortable with it. I'm taking the Rams minus 14. I don't like the 14. It makes me very nervous. 13.5. But Saints are playing a rookie quarterback because they're sitting Spencer Rattler. Probably going to get traded a couple of players moving forward. That team's checked out, and the Rams get Puka back, and they're coming off of a bye. So 14 points is a lot.
Me about it is once you get to those big spreads in the NFL, always makes me panic. You know, college football, I'm willing to do it. NFL, not so much. But I say that, and my 1-point play is a huge spread in college football.
Oh, that's not good.
And I'm going with old reliable, Mr. Kurt Cignetti, who I wish would leave this conference. But he signed his huge contract extension. They are on the road at Maryland. I think they cover 21.5 points is the spread. I'm going to take Indiana. I think they continue. It feels as if Cignetti always blows out opponents when they've got this huge spread, so I'm going to stick with it. Minus 21.5 for Indiana at Maryland.
I was thinking about Indiana this week. Road games have been a little tougher for Indiana so far this year. Now, one of them is at Oregon. That's a tough spot for anybody, but it was a close game. At Iowa, I remember when Cignetti was talking about that before the game. He said, hey, this is a tougher test than what we had last week, which was at home against Illinois. That's the only 2 times that they've gone on the road so far this year. This is another road test at Maryland. Some of the underlying numbers seem to suggest this should be a closer point spread. I don't think Maryland's a great team, but they've played some teams close so far this year. They kept Washington hell of a lot closer than Illinois did. They were within 4 in that game. Played Nebraska to a one possession game as well. I think this one might be a little closer than that spread indicates.
I took it because I did see that Washington went, oh, hey, well, maybe not. And I went, Indiana, let's just be honest, Indiana's way better than Illinois, so they should take care of business, kick the crap out of the Terps.
So that being said, I miss everything, so probably a good pick by you. So that's probably the easiest way to look at it.
He does miss everything.
I am picking with my heart as much as my mind on this one.
Bad idea, dude.
3:00 slate on Sunday. I like the Chiefs to win straight up against the Buffalo Bills. I think they're the better team. I am a little worried about the fact that they're going to be without 2 starting offensive linemen and their starting running back. And the worst part of the Bills' defense so far this season has been their run defense. That being said, though, I think their pass defense is a little overrated. One of the reasons why is because, A, they haven't gone up against very many good pass offenses, and B, because they can't stop the run, even the good pass offenses just keep running. Against Atlanta. Atlanta was super effective when they threw it through the air. They also ran for more than 200 yards. The Baltimore Ravens earlier this season They didn't have to throw the football because Derrick Henry just kept running it down their throat. So why did it matter? They ended up scoring 40 points, and somehow the Bills still found a way to win. The one team that really did throw against them with success was New England, and they still lost that game. So I think the Chiefs are going to throw for 300-plus against this defense. I think it's going to be close. I think the Chiefs, though, win it by a touchdown, and that's enough to cover the spread. Chiefs -1.5 on the road at the Bills.
This was the game that was like my fourth play that was just on the outside looking in. The only reason I decided to back away from it and trust Kurt Cignetti is because I could see where this one becomes a shootout, and if it does, it just becomes a who has the ball last, and that's why I got scared away from it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're bold enough to do it because I didn't want to take a chance on it at all. Cool. But the one that I'm going for, I'm a little skittish about, but I feel like they come out on top. Taking the Patriots -5.5 at home against the Falcons. What were you going to say?
Their running back, Ramondre Stevenson, was just ruled out.
Well, good, because he fumbles the football every single time, so I don't really care about that. But the only reason I'm worried about this one is the Falcons are coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Dolphins. But even if they keep it competitive, I think Drake May and that defense will be able to just continue to make life miserable for Atlanta. So -5.5, I like that hook. I'm going with that as my 2-point play.
Michael Penix Jr. expected back in that one, so we'll see if that changes things for their offense. They looked so bad last week against Miami.
Yeah, I was surprised by that because I still thought Kirk had something, and the answer is no more Kirk.
No, he does not.
My 2-point play, I would be shocked if Alex touches this with a 10-foot ball.
If it's college, I won't.
It's not. It's the NFL. My 2- and 3-point plays are in the National Football League. My 2-point play is the Denver Broncos +1.5 at the Houston Texans.
That was one of mine, and I didn't like it for a specific reason.
The reason?
I've got a +2. Would you like it at a +2?
Oh, yeah, I will take +2 for the Denver Broncos. The reason I know that Alex was going to stay away from this is because he doesn't trust Bo Picks.
Nope.
And I'm not saying I don't trust him either. I just don't see how the Texans protect C.J. Stroud against this Broncos defense. I think it becomes a living nightmare for C.J. Stroud. They don't do anything offensively, and I think the Denver Broncos will be able to win this game outright.
I don't like this because Pat Surtain is out of the game, and Nico Collins is expected back.
I will also be taking the Denver Broncos as my 2-point play on the road at the Texans.
I stayed away from that one.
Denver Broncos plus the 2 points. I think they win this one outright. I think they're the better team. I think they're mirror images of one another. Both of them have issues offensively. They can't move the ball with any kind of consistency, but the Broncos have the better offensive line. They have the better running game, and they have the better defense of these two teams. Both of them are built upon pass rush, but the Broncos have the better secondary. The Texans do nothing better than the Broncos so far this season. So give me the Broncos as an underdog. Yeah, I think they win this game straight up.
Did you look at this and say, I don't understand this line?
No, the line's fine because it would basically suggest that the Broncos, if they were at home, would be a 2.5-ish point favorite. But I think that the Broncos are the better team. So regardless of where this thing is being played, I think they will win.
Well, I stayed away from that one. Made my points clear. But I did go with the Colts -3 as my 3-point play. Now, I know on paper it looks tough because they're in Pittsburgh, but Indy is just on a different level right now. I think the Steelers have been exposed in their last couple of weeks in terms of Aaron Rodgers not being able to handle a certain type of defense, and I think the Colts will expose that. Plus, Jonathan Taylor's just on an MVP level right now, and Steelers defense has been awful. I don't know how they're going to be able to stop that on top of Daniel Jones.
Are we all in line
God,
on this?
Please, no!
The way he slowly turned and looked at me. I'm with you.
Assumed you were on it, and you guys know for damn sure I'm taking the Colts -3. This is a gimme. This is a
damn it.
No.
All right, I'm changing it.
Yeah, I don't get this line.
I'm changing it. I'm changing it.
I finally am willing to say I don't think they can win a Super Bowl. But I can finally look at this line on the road at the Pittsburgh Steelers and go, you know what? Cue the theme song.
Colts are 100% losing.
Can I please change mine?
Nope, you're locked in.
Can I please change mine?
You could be getting a free 3 points here, and it doesn't matter. Win or lose, you're not going to lose anything from us.
This is, on Underdog, you can download the app, go to it in the morning, and you get the gimme plays. It's like higher or lower, 0.5 yards for Jonathan Taylor on Sunday. You're like, well, he's going to rush and attempt.
Can I please
He'll get a yard. That is this game to me. The Colts are a 3-point favorite. I'm supposed to think that they're going to lose to the Steelers? Yeah. Steelers haven't stopped a nosebleed this year. Like, of course they're going to end up getting this win. They're the better team. It's not even close. The Steelers stink. They're not even favored to win their division, and the team that's behind them is like 3-5. They're 2 games back.
Yeah, You mentioned Rodgers against the
Steelers
good
can't even
defense.
stop Joe Flacco.
That's
Just
my
stop
point.
talking.
It's the Steelers' defense is why I went all in on the Colts for my 3-point
Can I
play.
please-
Only game I was confident.
Can I
in this week.
please change
Every
mine?
other game, I was like, yeah, I have no idea. No clue.
I just want to change
Chiefs,
mine.
I think they're better. Broncos, I think they're better. Let's go with it.
Bears
the Colts
minus-
is a 3-point favorite. This should be a 6-point favorite.
Bears
This is
minus
crazy.
2.5. Can I go with that now?
Vegas is wrong. Dead ass wrong.
Dude,
they don't know what they're
shut
doing on this.
Up. Shut up.
All right, that's our 3 plays.
I'm
locked
already
in.
up so much on it, but like, damn it. You know what's even worse about this is I don't feel very comfortable with my 2-point play, and now I got the same damn 3-point play as you guys.
Somebody said, long body. Everybody get in your cars, rush to Illinois as fast as you can, place your bet.
I thought we made a rule that if he does this on a pick that we all have the same, we can opt out.
Nope.
I thought there was an opt-out rule.
Nope.
I'd like to exercise my flex.
Make the case for me. How do the Colts lose this game? Make the
You
case.
just said everything for the last 3 minutes. That's my case. The BKO is how.
But make
I just did.
On a football level, how does
You
Pittsburgh win this?
You shut down an airport,
I
man.
got you.
I don't need
we
reasoning.
finally see that this was a mirage from Daniel Jones. He doesn't play well. He becomes the Daniel Jones of old, turns the football over.
But how
and
are
the
they forcing
Packers-
them to throw?
Well, I wasn't going to get to that detail. But, they're going to get cute. They're not going to run the football the whole game. Jones is going to throw. And if they fall behind early, then they
Jonathan
have
Taylor
to throw
gets
no matter
injured.
what.
That's how.
And JT gets hurt. It's possible. You don't have to act like it's not possible.
It's not. Have I missed something on the Colts injury report?
No, because I looked today, too.
Okay.
There's nothing that's, out there. One of the receivers is out, but it's not anybody that's
Anthony Gould expected to miss this game. Grover Stewart expected to miss this game, but other than that,
I don't know
nobody.
that guy. Yeah. What positions Grover play?
Grover Stewart is a defensive tackle. He's a pretty good one, but I mean, it's not gonna
Yeah, no, that
really
won't
change
Yeah.
the outlook
Alright.
for them.
I'm getting 6 points this week.
I'm getting at least 3.
I'm getting none now because of you idiots.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we're gonna dive into the junk drawer.
If it's right, I think Alex shouldn't get the points for it, for as much as he's cried over there.
Yeah, I think he.
Okay.
I have.
You know what? You want to change it? Why don't you take Steelers +3?
No,
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to. I don't want to bet on this game now that
no.
you guys have done
Well, no,
this.
no, if
I
you
mean,
believe the
clearly you think
BKO.
it's a lock. The
Yeah.
Steelers
I
are going
did
to win.
until you opened your mouth.
No, you didn't.
No,
You
I'm
believe
saying
in the Colts.
You believe that it is now a lock that the Colts will not cover. So it's a lock.
Put your pouting where your
that
mouth
the Steelers
is
will win.
and take the Steelers +3
Yeah, go
for
ahead
your
and take-
3-point play.
Switch it.
Come
Go
on.
ahead and switch it. We'll give you the opportunity.
Or do you
You
want to
can have
stick
it.
with us? You want to stick with us?
Hold on, let me check the standings real quick.
What do you mean?
I
check
mean,
the standings?
it's not close.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, just wanted to double check.
So are you saying that you want the Colts or you want the
No,
Steelers?
I'm just saying.
What do you want? What do you want? You want the Colts
I'm
still?
fine.
You're
You're
fine.
going to stick with the Colts?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Even if I lose, I'm still up by like.
I still think you don't
17
even know
on
who
you
you picked
guys.
in this game.
Believe
keep
I
saying
did, and I believe I'll have a 3-0 week, just like you've had. Oh, that's right, 0 of them.
No, that's not true. I think I've had one.
You've been nearly punished twice. This close. This close.
true.
It's just because he keeps
Close
ruining
only
it.
counts and horseshoes and hand grenades.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
I failed to cover most
So
weeks.
does
All right,
T-Bone.
alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. Bradford Bruns back in the studio for us. Coming up next, man, LSU is doing everything they possibly can to make their job less appealing. How are they going to hire a quality candidate at this point? We'll get into it next here on 101 ESPN.
TMA's Martin Kilcoyne is headed to Scotland in June, and you can join him for the trip of a lifetime. Discover spectacular Scotland with Colette and visit the historic capital of Edinburgh, Glasgow, the legendary Isle of Skye, cruise on the lovely Loch Ness, and so much more on an amazing 10-day tour. Colette handles all the details, flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences. Don't miss out. Get all the details on how you can discover spectacular Scotland with Colette and TMA's Martin Kilcoyne now at 101ESPN.com. Because Blues hockey can be heard exclusively on 101 ESPN. Get the info you need before and after every Blues game with a First Community pre- and post-game show. First Community Credit Union.
Take your best shot with First Community and presented by Scott Lee Heating Company and Urban Chestnut Brewing Company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Canucks creep past note to downtown. Happy Halloween. It's Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is powered by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Following last night's 4-3 has been presented by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
So if you haven't been paying attention to this LSU situation, I'm going to try to catch you up here in like 60 seconds because there's been a lot going on down in Louisiana over the last week or so. So first, everybody hates Brian Kelly. Apparently, he didn't let any of the alumni come back to be a part of the program. Any former players were not invited back to practices. They were not allowed to be a part of practices. And like LSU, it's kind of a family thing, right? Like once you're a Tiger, you're always a Tiger situation. And so for Brian Kelly to do this, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Now there are stories coming out about how his own players didn't like him. And certainly a lot of the boosters grew frustrated and irritated with the way that he handled this program. So it should come as no surprise he didn't exactly have a lot of allies that wanted him to continue to be the coach at LSU. And then the governor got involved. And the governor basically oversees everything LSU related. And it appears he has effectively unilateral control over the LSU system. Now, you can decide for yourself whether this is good or bad or indifferent. I'm just telling you the way that it is because it's telling some of the story on what's going on there right now. So the governor apparently brings together a bunch of people over the weekend and says, hey, what do we got to do? How can we fire this guy? And they all say, yo, it's going to cost you about $50 million. But like, if you want to fire him, you can fire him. He says, get rid of the guy. Also, I want to fire the AD. Can I do that? They effectively say, like, I mean, you could, but it's going to cost you another $6.5 million. So the governor says, let's hold off on that, but Kelly's got to go. So they fire Brian Kelly. He's gone. They install an interim head coach, and he's bringing back all of the players this week to practices. Okay, step one complete. Governor then hosts a press conference earlier this week saying definitively the athletic director, where his number one job is to hire the football coach, will not be hiring the next football coach at LSU. Okay. Then he says their version of the board of curators will have a committee that they go ahead and install, and that's who's going to be in charge of this hiring. The board of curators guy comes out and is interviewed and says, I didn't know that, but all right, we're gonna hire an awesome coach here at LSU. The next day, the athletic director was fired. That happened yesterday. So that's the latest update in this saga. The athletic director has now been fired. The president left for Rutgers like 3 months ago. So they have an interim president, an interim AD. The board of curators doesn't know who's in charge or involved right now. Apparently, the interim AD is now going to be the one that's putting together the coaching committee for this search, and the governor sure seems like he's going to be involved, and he's telling everybody who will listen, we're changing the way we do contracts. It's going to be incentive-laden. It's not going to have this massive buyout. We're going to do things different here at LSU. There's no way we're ever going to be on the hook again for a $50 million buyout. Okay, so that's where things stand right now. Alex, this is supposed to be a top 5 job in the country.
Yeah, it's not.
Brian Kelly was the first coach hired this century that did not win a national championship at LSU. It's an excellent job. They have the history. They have the recruiting base. They have the fan base. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. The facilities, they've got everything at LSU that you could ask for in order to win at the highest level possible. If you're a big-time candidate, Lane Kiffin, Eli Drinkwitz, whoever you think is the best candidate on the market right now, you interested in this job?
Dude, I mean, I'm interested in taking a phone call, but there's going to have to be a lot of demands that you're going to have to meet if I take this job, because this sounds like a soap opera. Like, you've got the governor involved with this, and he's taking shots at the reporters, and half the people don't even know what's going on. So if I'm just, let's put Drinkwitz's name into this conversation for the sake of local.
No, I take it you can win a title.
If I'm, yeah, probably, but do I want to go deal with this ish for the next few years? And mind you, the amount of pressure that's on you to be good, like championship good, if you're not, they're going to be calling for your head in a couple of years. Now, the reason I said I'm interested in taking the phone call is because it sounds like they're desperate. And you know what happens when somebody's desperate? They'll meet the demands if they really like you. So if I'm Drink, and I know I have the ability to come in with full control over this program with everything that's involved with this, you're paying me the blank check, and I understand what's at stake, then yeah, it's hard to say no when you're gifted everything. But man, this screams disaster that if I go there in 2 years, if I don't have a championship, I might be fired.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this because, like, I think about it and go, man, that sounds like an awful job, right? Now I'm like, I guess I have to report to the governor and make sure that I'm on his good graces to make sure that I'm the head coach.
Maybe the president soon.
Yeah. So I think of that and I go, yeah, boy, that sounds like a nightmare. Then I also go, yeah, well, really, it's just like one guy. Can't you be friendly with one guy? And then you probably can get whatever you need help with.
He's hiring you.
Yeah, exactly.
He apparently likes you. He's tied to you now.
Which makes me think, okay, well, I probably do have better security, but now it comes down to that contract situation. Because if the governor is real about, hey, this isn't going to be the huge buyouts and we're going to do this incentives-based contract, okay, well, I don't want that job, right? Because I can also, even though I can convince myself, okay, yeah, I can be friends with the governor, I also know in the back of my mind, yeah, there's a chance that this sours on me rather quickly. So do I want a contract where I'm not going to have the, whatever it was, $50 million buyout that Brian Kelly had? No way in hell do I want to go to LSU if that's the case. If they're going to hold strong, to me, it's more about the contract than anything. If they're going to hold strong on this, well, we're doing these incentive-based contracts, I don't know who's taking that job because that's just not how it runs in college football. Though I agree that probably should be how it's done. That's not the marketplace. That's not what we saw Curt Cignetti get from Indiana. Curt Cignetti just bumped up his buyout. Same with Matt Rule at Nebraska, bumped up his buyout. You want a legitimate head football coach, you have actual interest in Lane Kiffin, and Kiffin has interest in your job, you got to hand out the guaranteed dollars and not run on incentives.
So that is true. If you want Kiffin, you want Drinkwitz, you're going to have to do what's necessary. You're going to have to, give out a contract similar to Cignetti, where it's fully guaranteed. And that means all of it is the buyout as well. However many years are remaining on that deal, that's what you have to pay out in the buyout. So the money thing changes everything about their candidate pool. It doesn't mean you can't hire a good coach, though. And this is something where I've struggled with it a little bit. I mean, this could be a great job if you're somebody that's in the group of five right now. If you're John Summerall down at Tulane, and I'm deciding between like Florida, LSU, wherever else, those are probably the two big jobs that he would potentially have interest in, maybe Arkansas. I could see the lean toward LSU. I'm going to have a hell of a lot of power because I'm effectively helping out with the athletic director hire. I have the ear of the governor. He's like, we're tied at the hip effectively now. The board of curators, their version of that, they hired me, so they're tied to me as everybody is tied to me. So yeah, maybe the buyout isn't as big, so I don't have quite that same security of like, they can't fire me, but I've got the power. I've got all of these people that are listening to me, which means I've got all of the resources that are necessary, and everybody has the ability to win there. So I don't think the top candidates would take that job because they can get more money. They have more security elsewhere. I don't think, though, that it takes them out of the quality candidate pool. There are a lot of really good coaches that aren't currently sitting power two, if you want to say it that way, Big Ten, SEC coaches. I think we've kind of got lost in the shuffle here. We've got, like, think about where these coaches are typically hired from. Texas A&M hired Duke's coach. Ohio State hired their interim coach, Ryan Day, who was a coordinator previously. Indiana hired the coach at James Madison. Georgia hired Alabama's defensive coordinator. Oregon hired a coordinator. Ole Miss hired Lane Kiffin, who, yes, he had previous opportunities at Tennessee and whatnot, but he was head coach at FAU. Georgia Tech hired their coordinator. Vandy hired a coordinator. I'm listing off the top 10 teams in the country right now. I think we have this notion in our head that everybody hires the hot shot candidate that was at the smaller Power 5 school. No, that's not the way that this typically works. Many of the best coaches in college football got a job at a big university after being either a coordinator or a group of five head coach. So I think LSU could still hire a really good coach that we don't really know a whole lot about right now because they're doing the traditional thing of hiring the next up-and-coming guy. So while I think they've done a lot to make this a less appealing job to the legit creme de la creme candidates of Eli Drinkwitz, Lane Kiffin, et cetera, I think there are a lot of guys out there that still look at this job and are like, think I'm going to pass up being the head coach at LSU? I'm at Tulane, bro. Like, no, I'm going to take that job 10 times out of 10. And they could still get one hell of a football coach. And then a few years from now, if they're awesome, they're probably going to go back into that buyout game.
So I could see where the group of five guys do look at this, but I don't know if it's going to be you get the top target you want from the group of five. Because I do think the guaranteed dollar is so significant that they'll say, well, Florida's going to guarantee my contract or guarantee me a bigger buyout. All right, well, I'll go Florida over LSU. Arkansas is going to guarantee me a bigger buyout. Okay, well, I'll go Arkansas, even though I know I probably can't win a championship there, unlike LSU. I want the buyout, right? That is the thing that really helps secure these guys to these spots. I'm not saying LSU. I'm not disagreeing that LSU will probably land a group of five coach. What I don't know if they're getting the top targets from the group of five, though. I don't know that they're getting the Memphis coach, the South Florida coach, the North Texas coach is getting a bunch of buzz now.
Not all of those guys are going to get Penn State, Florida, and like what is the other big-time job that you'd rather have over LSU? There's only so many jobs to go around that are at this level. So eventually, you just mentioned three. Man, one of those candidates is probably going to be available for me if I'm LSU.
And see, because there are, three other Power 5 jobs open now?
Two good ones.
Yeah, but I think the Arkansas one will leapfrog LSU because of the dollars.
Oh,
that's where I view this. I don't think these coaches, man, they love that money. And I think they're going to be going for that guarantee of making sure they've got a significant buyout.
Especially if I'm in Arkansas, I feel like as much as like you're vulnerable when you take LSU, you're getting the money, but you're also going to a pretty prolific opportunity.
I would rather have the LSU job regardless of the money than the Arkansas job. I'm going to get paid well. Yeah. I mean, they're not saying that you don't make a good salary. They're just trying to make it more incentive based. So if you're fired, they're not on the hook for $50 million next time around. You're going to get paid pretty damn well to be the head coach at LSU. You're going to get $7-8 million on average at a minimum. I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to make as much money as I could have ever possibly imagined if I'm a football coach at LSU. So I still think that's one of the top jobs on the market. It used to be the clear-cut, in my opinion, number one job. Like before this week, when they've done all of this talking for the governor, I think it was the clear, obvious number one job on the market. Now I think it's just kind of on the same level with Penn State and with Florida. And that's saying something because I don't think Florida is anywhere close to as good of an actual job as LSU, but at least they've kept their mouth shut. Whereas LSU has done everything they can to make this thing interesting. All right, coming up in 15 minutes, how would Toronto winning this World Series play into the public perception of needing a cap in Major League Baseball? We'll get into that coming up here in just a little bit. The Junk Drawer is next here on 101 ESPN.
Good luck, Governor. The World Series is on ESPN tonight. Dodgers and Blue Jays. Pregame at 6. First pitch at 7. The Fall Classic plays on 101 ESPN. the Centene Community Ice Center inside the ENB Granite Studios. You're tuned into BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. Let's open it up. A junk drawer with BK and Ferrario.
Alongside Alex and T1 on BK, let's dive into the junk drawer. Alex, what do you have for us today?
Well, guys, Halloween, obviously, so I'm sure plenty of stories are out there. We haven't had a holiday for a while, so you know what that means. Bradford, hit the music.
Oh, no.
Get some Halloween jokes, guys. Let's warm up for it. You guys ready?
I should know.
Let's all laugh, boys. Hey, BK. What do ghosts have in their noses?
Boogers.
That's boogers. I don't appreciate you taking that joke from me. Hey, why didn't the mummies?
Obvious.
Why don't the mummies like to take days off?
They're tied up.
They're afraid to unwind.
Don't laugh.
He got that one. Hey, T-Bone, where do zombies go for vacation?
Oh, man. I have no idea.
They go to the Dead Sea. That one was very good. No, that one was very good. Why are vampires bad at art? You're bad at art. Why are vampires bad at art? You look like you're bad at art. It's because they're only able to draw blood.
That doesn't even sound ridiculous.
How do you mend a jack-o'-lantern?
Tell me, Alex.
With a pumpkin patch.
What's weird about it, I can't tell if you actually enjoy these or not.
That one was funny. Why did the pumpkin fail out of school?
I don't know.
Because somebody scooped his brains out. How do you know?
BK's trying not to laugh, but that one got him. He looked away too.
How do you know if a zombie likes somebody? They ask for seconds because they eat them.
Yeah.
Why are graveyards so noisy? Because of all the coffins. What happens if you don't pay the exorcist on time?
What happened?
Well, they're going to repossess you. Final one, guys. How did the skeleton make a phone call? He used his collarbone.
Well, that's cute.
Happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day.
Coming up next.
That was so good.
I'm disappointed that I didn't know
None of you
what was
expected
coming.
it, too.
I know,
Love it.
and I should have expected it.
Oh, I love it so much.
So how would a Toronto win play into public perception of a salary cap in Major League Baseball? We'll tell you next here on 101 ESPN.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Miss the Blues game? Want to hear the highlights? Need player reaction? Want more analysis and opinion? It's all here on Curbside, your next day postgame podcast with a voice of the St. Louis Blues, Chris Kerber. Catch new episodes of Curbside every morning after every Blues game on 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. Curbside is presented by Blue Note Roofing, roofing, siding, and gutters, your St. Louis roofing experts. Visit BlueNoteRoofing.com for a free inspection. BK and Ferrario are broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. So, Alex, I think this year, maybe more than any other, we've seen public perception shift on Major League Baseball. For a really long time, the owners have been trying to get the salary cap implemented. And I think for most fans, they were like, I kind of like the way that this game works. There's a lot of parity, that you don't see the repeat champions. It seems like baseball, the way that it's constructed, is working for Major League Baseball. And then that's flipped over the last 3 to 5 years, really post-COVID. Things have shifted in a meaningful way. The TV deals are not quite the same for the smaller market teams compared to New York, LA, Chicago, etc. The revenue divide has never been greater in Major League Baseball. The stars are going to the coasts in a way that has always kind of been the case, but now more so than ever previously. And so it's becoming difficult for teams, especially in mid-markets like St. Louis, to see what their path forward is. Because it's also less meaningful now to tank than it used to be. So that's no longer a path toward contention. And so I think a lot of the public perception, especially with the Dodgers dominating the way that they have been over the last couple of years, is, well, baseball needs a cap. And public relations, public perception, that's half the battle if you're an owner of trying to get that on your side. It's basically politics. Like you need to convince people, even before you convince the players, that this is something that would be good for the sport. Just like with the rule changes, it's a really important job for Rob Manfred to explain to fans why something like the pitch clock can be helpful, can be meaningful, can ultimately be a good thing for the game. And then they see it implemented, and it's like, okay, yeah, no doubt about it, this is good for the game long term. The Dodgers winning the World Series would have gone a long way in helping the owner's case for a cap. I would have been on that side. Frankly, I am on that side of things. What about for the Blue Jays, Alex? Because the Blue Jays are now a win away. They could do it tonight. This World Series could be over. Blue Jays are your champions if they win this evening in Toronto. What does that do for this argument in Major League Baseball?
I mean, I think it goes out the window. I don't know if people can sit here and still argue that a cap would be best for baseball, because if the Dodgers are there, but a Blue Jays team, albeit a Blue Jays team that still spends a lot of money, but a Blue Jays team that isn't viewed as a juggernaut like the LA Dodgers, that is a go-to destination for every free agent, that Dodgers team didn't win. So to sit there and say, well, we got to fix baseball because this team keeps going out there and getting all the best free agents and keeps winning World Series. Well, no, they didn't. They couldn't beat the Blue Jays. They fell apart. So I think the argument goes away in terms of you can act as if it's still good for baseball, but you don't have the case of, well, it's impossible to beat the Dodgers for the roster that they've built. Now, after the free agency window happens and more teams or more players sign with the LA Dodgers and they keep deferring money 15 years from now, then the argument probably pops back up. But to me, the best case to argue for a salary cap and the best way to get other people involved in this argument was to see the Dodgers win, and specifically Dodgers win easily against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think it calms down for a little bit. But I still think there's going to be a significant fan portion that wants the salary cap, and I agree. I want the salary cap as well. I think it would be good for baseball. I think it's best for all sports to have a cap in place, and not just a soft cap, a hard cap. But I look at it and go, I think for some reason, I don't know why it is. Maybe it's just because the Dodgers had been the sole focus of attention for this World Series and was viewed as the favorite. Everybody seems to forget that the Blue Jays are 6th in payroll by the time we get to the end of the season here. So it's not like this is some mid-market team that's like 20th in payroll and they're fighting the almighty Dodgers. No, the Blue Jays are just the team that lost to the Dodgers when it came to bidding on a bunch of these free agents, and they still have a big rush. Remember, they gave Guerrero $400 million plus.
So I think the reason for that, T-Bone, is that like the Blue Jays this year, 5th in Major League Baseball in payroll. They spent $250 million on their overall roster. Do you know what the Dodgers are spending on their roster this season?
Like three. What did you say the number is for the Blue Jays?
$250.
It's got to be
like
closer to 4.
Isn't it?
It's got to be close to 4.
$350 million. Yeah. So the difference between the Blue Jays at 5th, their CBT threshold, which is like the averages of all of these salaries, $415 million. To put that in context, the Blue Jays, 5th in Major League Baseball in CBT 40-man roster, $280. So they're about $150 million more than the Blue Jays in that number. But if you just go by their actual payroll, right, end of year payroll, $350 versus $250, that $100 million difference between 1st and 5th is the same as the difference between 5th, which again is the Blue Jays, and roughly the St. Louis Cardinals at 19th. So that is why it feels as though there is such a disparity between the two teams, because there's just this massive gap between the haves at the top and the have-nots, which is basically everybody else.
Yeah, and I think if you see the Blue Jays win, it will calm it down. But I agree with what Alex said. I think by the time you get back into the offseason, the Dodgers are going to be spending money again.
They'll go get Tarek Skubal.
And it's going to be something crazy, whether it's, they acquire Skubal, they sign Kyle Tucker.
Dylan Cease.
They've got money. I mean, it's wild to say. They've got money coming off the books, and I don't even know if that mattered, but they've got like $26 million coming off the books. Okay, so if we just make that Kyle Tucker's contract and then add like another $10 million to our payroll, boom. Like, they're going to build another Death Star.
And see, the argument I'm seeing from a lot of people is, well, guys, the Blue Jays are still a top 5 payroll, so like they're part of the problem as well. Yeah, but the difference is they're also not bringing in every single best free agent every year. They're in the conversation for them, but they don't get them. The Dodgers always get them, and there's a difference there, because the Dodgers will get them, and then they defer the money for 12 years, and it makes itself work a little bit better.
I view it as different because the Blue Jays are where like the old version of Major League Baseball was in terms of like the gap between the haves and the have-nots, right? The Blue Jays are spending $250 million, which is a lot of money, but the Boston Red Sox are 12th in Major League Baseball in spending. They're at $200 million. That's a normal gap. That's what we've seen in Major League Baseball for years. The gap that is different than what we're used to is what we are now seeing the Mets and the Dodgers spending. Those two teams in particular that are over $300 million. That is different, man. It's $100 million between 1st and 5th again. And then you look at it between the Cardinals, who are 19th, and the Dodgers, it's $200 million difference. It's almost triple the amount of money that the Cardinals are spending on their roster this season compared to the LA Dodgers. That's not sustainable. That is not a model that can work long term. So regardless of the series results, to me, this is a problem Major League Baseball needs to do something about. I don't know what the answer is going to be, because I don't think players are going to agree to this. I don't think that they're going to want to do a cap. So maybe we end up missing an entire season and nothing actually changes for it. I don't know. But for me, the results of this series don't really change a whole lot. The Dodgers sleepwalking through the entire regular season and getting to the World Series, that's the thing that signals something needs to be done. Something needs to change, even though the Blue Jays could still come out on top, which to me is a good thing for baseball. I think it would be it's already a good thing that the Blue Jays showed this amount of fight and are forcing at a minimum a Game 7 in the World Series. But it's still, there's more that needs to be done.
Yeah, and you mentioned that payroll gap that you're seeing, right? Like, I will use your Royals, for example. $119 million, that's 16th, so right in the middle of the pack. Every team in baseball can get up to there. I know the Pirates will say, oh, my God, we don't have any money. No, the Pirates could spend $116 million. What you can't have is teams get up to where the Mets, the Dodgers, hell, even the Phillies, who are up in 5th place. You can't have everybody get up to that spot. I mean, that is unrealistic to ask of the Cardinals, of the Pirates, of the Cincinnati Reds. And that's why you see these teams that just become the feeders for these big organizations. If you put in a cap and put in a floor, which is probably the most important part of the cap, the players focus on that. Oh, well, it cuts off the top of the market.
Yeah,
but it forces the Pirates to spend more money. Now, maybe you don't want to go live in Pittsburgh, but they might give you $30 million now when they weren't willing to do that in the past.
Yeah, it's like what the Blackhawks and the Ducks have been doing for the last few years.
Exactly.
Chicago White Sox are spending $43 million currently on their 2026 payroll. Like they have that much committed toward next year's payroll today. It'll go up because they're not going to be able to field a roster.
Yeah, but it's not going to surpass $100 million.
Sure. That team, you could reasonably expect them to add $100 million to their payroll.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe you're cutting the Dodgers payroll by 100. You're also increasing the White Sox by $100 million just to get to the floor. So it eventually, and I believe, basically evens out. What could change is you're not going to have some of the guys at the very top end of the market making $60 to $70 million per year. That may be different because you have 26 different roster spots as opposed to, the NBA where you've got 13.
Yeah.
So the overall contracts, the bloated nature of them right now at the top of the market, it could go down. And so for those players, it hurts. But that's like 10 to 15 guys in Major League Baseball. For the other 500 players that are currently in the pre-arb or arbitration process, this could be something that ultimately actually lifts up your contract status and allows you to make more money earlier on in your career, which is what the vast majorities of players in Major League Baseball, they don't get to free agency. Most players never see that 8th year. So they're actually arguing against the majority of their union, but the people that are in power are the ones that make the money, and so they're the ones that make the decision.
The worst team in hockey is going to be spending over $100 million next year because of the salary cap floor. And the White Sox may not even get to $100 million.
Yeah, last year, they spent 78.
Yeah. And the worst team in hockey was spending $25 million more than what the White Sox spent last year. That's where the argument should still be there because of all of these players that don't have jobs. Those are the ones that should be making it more competitive at the bottom of the Major League Baseball.
There were 6 teams in Major League Baseball last year that did not spend $100 million.
That's absurd.
And there's 12 that are right now not at that mark.
For 2026.
Yeah, for 2026, moving into the future. They'll, like you said, some of them will get up there. But like just that I can look at that and go, whoa, okay, that's a story right there in and of itself.
Yep. What's the salary cap this year in
it's
the NHL?
99. Is that what it is? Next year it's 110.
95.
Next year it's like 110, I believe. Everybody's got to spend it. Whether it's LTIR or whatever, you got to spend it.
Major League Baseball has some problems. All right, coming up in about 15 minutes, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. You give us 4 different options. We'll tell you which one's got to go. But next, we're going to get to our NFL weekend look ahead. The best game of the week, the upset of the week. We'll get to that coming up next year on 101 ESPN.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. Every month during the season, you can score a pair of tickets to a Blues game at Enterprise Center. A new winner is picked every month throughout the season. Enter to win now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app, presented by Ted Drew's Frozen Custard. Broadcasting live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
All right, let's dive into our NFL weekend look ahead. Alex, we are going to get into our game of the week, the upset of the week, some of the matchups that we're most intrigued to see. We'll do it all here on BK and Ferrario in the next 10 minutes. Before we get to One's Gotta Go, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. You give us 4 different options, and we'll tell you which one's got to go here on BK and Ferrario. The game of the week for you
Can we all just take the Bills and Chiefs one off the table and say it's the game of the week?
It's the best game.
Yeah. Okay, so that's off the table for me.
Can we talk about it for just a second?
No, we already did. It doesn't matter. Both are going to be in the playoffs. Both will be
BK's just
potential
trying
winners.
to convince himself that it matters.
Just stop. Okay, stop.
I love this matchup so much. I do. I really, really love it. And the reason why is because you always get the best version of Josh Allen. He always shows up for these games. I mean, I was looking into his numbers yesterday. It's like 10, 12, 15, 10, 12, 15 when it comes to his rushing attempts in these games. He's running the same way that like Isaiah Pacheco does for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's generally around like 50 rushing yards for these ones, typically ends up with a touchdown on the ground as well. Now, their passing game isn't as impressive or imposing as it has been in recent seasons. They've got Khalil Shakir and not a whole lot else when it comes to that area, but man, their offense is just, it scares the hell out of you when you're going up against them. And now James Cook is what, the second or third best running back in the league this year?
I'd say second behind Taylor.
Yeah.
You could make an argument for Bijan Robinson, but that's probably it. It's probably those two guys behind Jonathan Taylor, either 2 or 3, depending on where you prefer. So the Bills matchup always intrigues the hell out of me. I think the Chiefs are the better team right now. And it looks like they're going to get their right guard, Trey Smith, back for this game, which is a huge boost for their offensive line. But, man, it's always fun to watch when Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are on the field.
Yeah, that was fun. It doesn't matter, though. Both will be potentially Super Bowl contenders. But my game of the week, that's not Bills and Chiefs, Patriots and Falcons. And with Penix Jr. and London back, and you've got how good Drake May has been playing, I think those are two fringe playoff teams. I don't believe in the Falcons, but at least the Falcons defense is somewhat competitive, and you get your players back on the offensive side. I think that one's going to be a really enjoyable game.
This week's gross. What's going on, NFL?
What are you talking about, man? There's a lot of other ones I like.
Last week stunk.
Lions and Vikings.
Terrible. It is?
Yeah.
Based upon what? J.J. McCarthy getting back into the game? You're excited to see that?
I just get to watch the Lions put up points.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be fun.
There are certain teams that I'm excited to watch this weekend. Like, I want to see what the Packers are able to do. They should be able to name their number against the Panthers.
I literally don't care about the Packers.
That game's not going to be fun. The Lions are going to destroy the Vikings. I thought about taking the Lions minus 8.5 for our pick'em today.
At least the Vikings got a defense. Panthers don't have anything.
It's gross.
Been terrible.
This weekend's gross in the NFL, man. Thank God we have the Chiefs versus the Bills. That game rocks, but most of these games are not compelling.
Okay, well,
even Broncos Titans might be or Texans rather might be one of the best games of the weekend. The point total for it is 40. Nobody thinks they're going to score because the offenses are no good.
We seem to be forgetting
You're
the game
gross.
here.
Don't say Rams and Saints because we'll turn your microphone off.
That was disgusting too.
I wouldn't. I'm a
Sunday
Rams
night?
fan. I don't plan to watch.
Don't say Bears and Bengals.
Sunday night's fun.
And it looks like Jane Daniels is going to be back. He practiced yesterday, I saw. I haven't seen an update to officially confirm that, but I would assume he's going to be back. You've got McLaurin that should be there. Samuel should be there.
I think McLaurin's not playing.
Oh, is he out? Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not playing.
Well, at least Debo, I think, is the one that's going to be back.
Not as fun now, is it, T-Bone?
No, because they've got Daniels, I think it is fun. Because with Daniels, I think he gives the Commanders a shot to win any football game for how he played last year. I think that's going to be a really good game. The Seahawks got a great defense. Their offense should put up points against Washington. The Commanders got to win it in a shootout fashion, I think. And I think they'll be able to at least hold serve. Maybe not win the football game, but hold serve in that game.
That's the game I'm having the toughest time picking for this weekend. I think the Seahawks will win, but it being on the road, Jaden Daniels returning, that gives me a little bit of pause. So it is one that I am having a bit of a tough time with. in terms of the fast lane pick'em challenge, just the straight up stuff that we do. All right. If you had to pick an upset for this weekend, Alex, who you going with? Good
Upsets. Yeah, I was going to say, am I supposed to come up with one here?
Yes.
I don't think I have one.
Can I cheat our system a little bit? Go with the 2.5 point line?
It's not an upset.
That's fine.
I mean, there's so many games that are close. Like, it's hard to. And
you going Raiders?
Is it Bengals over
the team
Bears?
that I was going to bring up, like, would we not all be a little surprised if the Raiders beat the
They're a home
Jacksonville
underdog,
Jaguars?
so that one counts.
Okay, good.
Well, if
okay.
we're going 2.5 point line, then I'll take Bengals over the Bears.
Yeah, and I think they're a home underdog too, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, so
that would be a legit upset.
Yeah. So
Okay.
all right. Well, now I feel pretty good about this.
If you're a road underdog of 2.5 or fewer, Vegas is effectively telling you, for anybody that doesn't pay attention
I
to the
don't
lines,
consider it.
If you are a road underdog of 2.5 or fewer, Vegas is effectively saying these teams are even. But when you're at home and you're an underdog, if you were on the road, it typically flips by about 2.5 points either way. So you'd be like a 7.5 point road dog. So it's a pretty significant underdog.
Yeah. So the reason I say the Raiders is we just got the news like 30 minutes ago. Travis Hunter placed on IR. Sounds like his season is done with a non-contact knee injury. Well, he had basically, we talked about this off air, he had kind of become the number one target for Trevor Lawrence over the last 2 weeks before this injury. I haven't been that impressed with Brian Thomas. His name has floated out there in the rumor mill. I don't know how legitimate that is, but it's out there. And Trevor Lawrence, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 1,600 yards. To me, he's not looked impressive this season. I can see a scenario where the Raiders finally figure out this offensive issue where Geno's been throwing a bunch of picks. They have one really good game, and this gets into a shootout, and the Raiders end up winning and shocking us. And we look at the Jaguars and go, oh, it's the same old Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence isn't able to do enough for them.
Did you find one?
No, mine was the Bengals over the Bears. I still don't consider it an upset, but that would be mine.
I love that Alex comes up with his own criteria of what does and does not qualify.
It's just, I mean, look, like my criteria for an upset is, would that surprise me if they beat them? And no, it would not. So
you go by vibes.
Yeah. I mean, that's not an upset. You could sit there. First of all, it's 2.5, and you could pull the whole like they're an underdog at home. It's not an upset. It's not an upset. Vikings beating the Lions, that's an upset.
See, I was questioning my upset pick because I remember we used to have the rule. It was a 3-point line. I didn't know we had the caveat if you were a home dog.
Well, I didn't either. That's what I was going off of. It was 2.5 points.
Well, you're even still going off the vibe check where it doesn't feel like an upset.
No, he's laughing at the 2.5 point home thing, and I said it doesn't feel like an upset.
That's what I'm saying.
I have to expand on it because he's making a stupid laugh.
I also loved how BK looked at you and you did a slow pan to your left.
Because I thought I already answered it. I should have taken my anxiety medicine today.
You should have.
I know.
Your yelling's a little much.
I'm laughing.
It's a stupid laugh. See, I can argue with you, but he just laughs, and it makes me want to hit him. I don't agree to violence, but it makes me want to hit him.
I'm laughing because you are both saying that you don't believe in the 2.5 point home thing, and also you go by vibes.
Yeah. I have to expand on it, apparently.
What's your upset pick, BK?
Yeah, these all stink. If I had to pick one straight up, I'll go Falcons on the road at the Patriots. Patriots are playing really well. The Patriots for me are my bizarro Packers team. I do the opposite thing with them. I watch them on Sunday. I'm like, God, they are good, man. And then I get to Wednesday. I'm like, I don't know. Last week I felt this way. This could be a tough one. Going up against Cleveland, good defense. Maybe they force Drake May into some tough spots. And then I watched the game on Sunday. I was like, oh my God. Drake May did it again. And here we are. It's Friday. And so I'm removed from the game. I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. Are they going to be able to keep this up? So I'll go ahead and take the Falcons straight up against the Patriots.
Still going with Bengals over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
What is a matchup that you are most intrigued to see, Alex? And when I say this, I mean like an offense going up against a defense.
I know what it means.
Going up against an
I know what it means. God. Broncos offense versus Texans defense.
Okay.
See, the tone of, okay.
Are you going to explain it?
No.
Should I just go with mine now?
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's bring the vibes up. This is a bad way to end a show before a weekend, you goobers.
He's this close. This close. I almost did.
You almost
did. He's this close.
The matchup for me, we talked about it. It is going to be the game of the week. The one thing that I agree with what we've talked about, that, hey, the Chiefs feel like the obvious they will get through the AFC and get to the Super Bowl. The one thing that has me still hesitant on they will win the Super Bowl, as BK's been saying.
Mm-hmm.
is this defense good enough to do that? And I understand that they have played well the last 2 weeks, but it was against the Raiders and it was against, I can't remember who the other, Washington. Without Jaden Daniels in that game. All right, this is the 4-game stretch where we're going to find out. You mentioned how Josh Allen brings out his A game when he goes up against Mahomes and the Chiefs. Are they going to get enough stops? If they do lose this game, to me, it's not because, the offense didn't play well. They were without their starting running back. They're missing one of their offensive linemen. No. It's going to be because they don't get enough stops against Josh Allen. This becomes a shootout, and it becomes the who has the ball last. I am fascinated to see what this defense looks like because it has looked so good over the last 2 weeks.
Gator, what are the odds that Alex hits BK in the face one day on air?
I think it's better than people think.
Willie, I'd say 0 chance. Jack, T-Bone, much more likely.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't believe in violence. I won't hit him. I'm not sure in my mind, I think about it a lot.
I understand that.
It's just the way he laughs when you're talking. Even T-Bone.
I already forgot what your pick was for.
I told you it was the Broncos offense versus the Texans defense. I don't think it needs explanation.
Well, I mean, how else are we going to fill time?
Figure it out yourself.
My matchup that I'm intrigued to see is this Bengals offense going up against the Bears defense. Bears defense has kind of been yucky over the last few weeks. And they had a nice stretch there where it was like, okay, maybe they're figuring this out. Maybe they can't actually be a playoff team. And then last week I don't know what happened, but they looked terrible against the Baltimore Ravens. I want to see what they look like. It sounds like Joe Flacco is going to play. I had this game marked down of if Joe Flacco doesn't play, I was going to have the Bears as part of our pick'em. I think they're the better team. They should be the better team. The Bengals are no good. They can't stop anybody. But the offense with Joe Flacco, I mean, he's given their receivers a chance, and that's all they needed. They needed Jamar Chase to just get spammed with these opportunities for yards after catch, and he's getting that now. He's getting like 15 to 20 targets per week. He's given T. Higgins a few big-time throws down the sideline every single week where it's, hey, 50-50 ball, T. Higgins, go make a play, and he's making a few of these plays. So can the Bears get enough stops to win this game against Cincinnati? If they do, man, this schedule really opens up a little bit over the next few weeks. They've got Cincy here, and then the Giants without Scadaboo and without their number one receiver. Then at Minnesota, where they might have to play J.J. McCarthy, and God only knows they don't want to play him. And then they've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a winnable game for them. Mm-hmm. They probably should win at least 3 of their next 4 games, maybe all of them. That puts you with 8 wins potentially and very much on track to get into the postseason. But I can't believe in any of that if you can't beat the Bengals on the road. So I'm intrigued to see what their defense can do against this Cincinnati offense.
I already answered mine.
I know.
Why are we going back to it?
There's a comment over there.
No,
said you got your arms crossed like Scrooge.
Does Scrooge sit with his arms crossed?
Doesn't he?
I don't think so.
I thought Alex has been in a great mood all day long, and then we just...
I don't know. He was yelling at me in the first segment.
We had a great time.
That was
it was just a great time. It's wild how one thing can just shift the vibes, right, BK?
He hasn't got under my skin today. Although we still got 2 segments.
We've got plenty of time.
You just saw, it can happen in a matter of 5 minutes.
Coming up next, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. You give us 4 options. We'll tell you which one's got to go here on BK and Ferrario.
Get social with 101 ESPN. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube at 101 ESPN.
BK, football season in full swing over at Underdog. It is the best place to get in on all of the action. It's the final day of our favorite Boost-tober. So get on over to Underdog, select your entries, and win money right now in the state of Missouri. So I'm going to the NFL slate on Sunday, BK. I like to call this TD Mania because I'm going touchdown higher for all of these players. Drake May, Nico Collins, Jonathan Taylor, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jackson Dart, James Cook. Put them all together, 63-1 payout.
I like it. If you're able to get it, that's a nice payout over there on the Underdog app. You can do this even in the state of Missouri. Make entries, win money right now. When I get the Underdog app opened up in the morning, I check out for those bonuses, the potential for gimme picks. You could do this in college football as well. It's something that I like to do, especially on the Mizzou side of things. So it's all available to you right now over on the Underdog app. Make your picks, win your money. Download the app today. Sign up using the promo code BKO to score $100 in bonus entries. When you play your first $5, that's promo code BKO. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older, present in Missouri. Terms to apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
The Redbird Report. Your front row seat to all things Cardinals. From the dugout to the diamond, BK and T-Bone go deep with the latest news, notes, and analysis. Watch the Redbird Report on YouTube or listen online at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Toronto occupies the driver's seat against Dodgers. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet plus Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tonight at 7, John Schneider's Blue Jays look to end their title drought on 101 ESPN. World Series Game 6, Los Angeles facing elimination draws righty Kevin Gausman here. Dave Roberts counters with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Toronto hasn't claimed that trophy since 1993. College football tomorrow's slate features 3 ranked matchups, including Vanderbilt, Texas. Our coverage gets underway shortly before 11 o'clock. Evening pucks, meanwhile, will fly between St. Louis as well as Columbus. Thursday's 4-3 shootout loss means Jim Montgomery's club remains last in those central standings. This Sports Center update has been driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. This is BK and Ferrario. Time now for One's Gotta Go. We offer up the talking points, and you get to pick which one's gotta go on 101 ESPN. Count that big pen.
Quick bit of news in the NFL. DeAndre Swift has been ruled out for Sunday's game with the Chicago Bears. That means that Manungai is going to be the starting running back for the Bears. I highly recommend checking your waiver wire if you have not done so yet.
Already on my team. Don't even look.
If you want to check it out, I would go
I
find your waiver wire quickly. See if you can
I gotta be T-Bone. Hold on. I'm not doing
got
this
him in our league.
Oh, is that what you were just doing over there?
Damn! I dropped him for Tyrone Tracy, which isn't a bad thing. I gotta think he's the number one guy. Oh, he's in my other league. Let's go.
399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for One's Gotta Go. You give us 4 options. We'll tell you which one's gotta go here on BK and Ferrario. From the 314, One's Gotta Go World Series Hero Edition. Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, Dalton Varsho, or Addison Barger.
Varsho? Have I missed a moment from Dalton Varsho?
No, they're saying like at some point, either tonight or in Game 7, they'll be the. I think my read on this.
Read them off again.
Have a hero. Edman, Kike, Addison, Dalton Varsho.
Varsho for me.
Yeah, I think it's Varsho. I was trying to think like if the Dodgers win this one and they come back, it's going to be Kike Hernandez. So, but I'll say Varsho.
And I like Edman. Varsho's had, to me, I don't know why, maybe I'm wrong. He screams a guy with no swagger. Am I the only one that picks up no swag vibes?
Good defense though.
Yeah, that's
really
true.
good defender. But
that's why I don't like him.
Weakest arm in Major League Baseball this year.
It's so funny hearing T-Bone say no swag vibes.
One's gotta go. Candy edition. Snickers, Twix, Milky Way, or Three Musketeers. I don't like Three Musketeers. It does nothing for me.
Milky Way or Three Musketeers. Both are trash in my opinion, but Milky Way's worse.
What?
Yeah.
The Three Musketeer bar is good. That's like my second favorite candy bar.
No, it's like, what is it, nougat in there? What's
Yeah.
it? Yeah, no, that's nasty.
Milky Way's the one for me that's got to go.
One's got to go Halloween candy edition. Take 2, Reese's Pieces, M&M's, Hershey's bar, or Twix. I'm good with the Hershey's bar. Yeah.
The only thing you use Hershey bars for is s'mores.
Agreed.
Nobody just eats Hershey bars for fun, and if you do, you're kind of a psycho.
I like dark chocolate, but
of course you
regular original milk chocolate.
Dark chocolate guy too.
Dark chocolate, it's good for my heart.
Yeah, I need that.
A little bit of red wine, some dark chocolate, good pairing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Maybe some cheese.
That's disgusting.
I'd get rid of the Hershey bar here too. Cheese with it?
Yeah, a cheese pairing with your wine? Yeah, absolutely.
What's that up, man?
Dark
I don't know that
cheese.
Dark chocolate and cheese?
You can do whatever you want, man. Eat, drink whatever you want, whatever makes your heart happy.
Would you say be merry?
That's right. From the 636, One's got to go fried food appetizer edition. Boneless wings, cheese fries, onion rings, or fried mushrooms. I don't.
Fried mushrooms.
Hot take, not a big cheese fries guy.
You're going to keep fried mushrooms?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I like fried mushrooms.
Oh, that's
You guys
disgusting.
know I like mushrooms.
Oh.
I love mushrooms, not fried mushrooms,
I knew you
because
were a mushroom
typically it's
guy.
the thick mushrooms. It's not like the. Yeah, no,
I don't like mushrooms in general. So
I like stuffed
get them out of here.
mushrooms. I like fried mushrooms.
I like the chopped up mushrooms. That's what I like. Put that in like our chicken dishes or like a Philly cheesesteak. I put those in.
We have that mushroom shop down the street from us in
There's
in
a
Main
mushroom
Street,
shop?
Yeah. And they do pizzas with their mushrooms.
That doesn't sound legal.
Awesome.
Ugh,
It's great.
that sounds disgusting.
Mushroom on pizza, I'm out on too.
It's a vegetarian pizza because it like
No
they
kidding.
use them. They use
I
the
only eat
mushrooms as their meat
vegetarian
replacement.
pizza.
Got like barbecue pizza.
You hand out rulers on Halloween, don't you?
314-3999.
You're an Apple
Here's
guy.
Beer Cover Service Sex Line.
You're a grapes guy. Here's individual grapes, kids.
401's got to go.
They're good for your heart.
Dr. Xander, imagine going over to BK's house to watch football. He's got dark chocolate, wine, and cheese.
I'd be very concerned.
SEC teams to miss the playoffs edition.
Zoo.
Vandy, Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss. Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get them out of here.
Yeah.
They can't play defense. I think they're going to give up a ton of points to Oklahoma this week, and Oklahoma's offense has not been very good over the last couple. So, yeah, I'm with you. Get rid of the volunteers.
One's got to go from Bishing About Sports, BK edition. His beautiful face, his laugh, his hot takes, or his happiness. I mean, they want my happiness to go is what I would imagine.
No, I want your face to go. It's the part that really pisses me off. Like, you put T-Bone's face on yours, I think we could have real conversations.
I already forgot what some of them were. His happiness, like I need him to lift up the room sometimes when grumpy old Ferrario's over there.
Grumpy doesn't
complaining
get
about
Grumpy hasn't been around for a while. Today's just an exception. I forgot something this morning. Grumpiness hasn't showed his face in a while. Today it just did, all right? I got out of the house quick.
Somebody said BK totally hands out raisins.
Oh, for
Halloween.
sure. You are a big raisin guy,
chocolate covered raisins.
That one I do like chocolate covered raisins.
What you want him for Halloween?
No, not for Halloween. I eat raisin nut bran in the morning because I love the raisins.
There
in
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
And it's healthy for your heart.
Raisins
Good
are
for and
disgusting.
regular.
And it gives you really good bowel movements for
Yeah.
anybody that needs them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm out on that.
But I'm not
Raisins
going to
are
hand them out.
disgusting.
The people that eat raisins themselves are psycho also.
Ugh.
I need to make like a...
I like craisins. Have you ever had that? The cranberries that are raisins? Like
No.
dried cranberries,
Who
basically?
eats cranberries?
Okay, sorry. Thought we were
You're
in
a
the same place.
cranberry sauce kind of guy for Thanksgiving, aren't you?
The homemade cranberry sauce,
That's
very much so.
nasty.
The ridges,
That's
the one
nasty.
that comes out of the
The
can,
can?
I'm good on that.
That's nasty.
I'm good on that.
Anything that jiggles at Thanksgiving, I'm out on.
You guys know white gelatinous substance.
Bradford.
Not my jam.
Click that one off that T-Bone just... And then the jiggles I'm out on.
Coming up next, the Rewind here on 101 ESPN.
The World Series is on ESPN tonight. Dodgers and Blue Jays. Pregame at 6. First pitch at 7. The Fall Classic plays on 101 ESPN. from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the ENB Granite Studios. You're tuned into BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. Let's run it back with the Daily Rewind on BK and Ferrario. Brought to you by Gloria Lou, your home sold guaranteed realty. Selling your home begins at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN.
I hate that guy.
It's good for all of us to have a weekend apart.
I think I need to take a Monday, too. Wait, no, crap. The Blues play on Monday. Never mind.
If you guys missed anything from today's show, it's been a fun one.
Has it?
Check it out on the podcast page, 101ESPN.com, and the free 101 ESPN app is where you go to find it. That podcast is always sponsored by
Shave for Door Company.
The 101 ESPN app is super easy to use, and it is free to download. It is sponsored by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. By the way, it is 1:52. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Alex, last night the Blues lose in a shootout 4-3 against Vancouver. They did get a point. They did look a lot better for the vast majority of the game. So those are all steps in the right direction, but they still lose. And now you have lost, 6 consecutive games?
Mm-hmm.
Started out the season 3-2. You now find yourself 3-6-2. How did you feel coming off of last night's loss?
Better. Not great, because you still wanted to see them win, and it felt like they needed to get a win. But to me, that wasn't a pass-fail game. That was more of, can we start to see life? Because the failure, in my opinion, was a team that you didn't see any life, that had the same issues that they've had in the previous 5 games. And albeit they had the high-danger chances that they were still giving up, but those were limited, and they responded. And I thought the offense actually looked like they found an identity. So to me, this falls in the line. That game falls in the line to what Ken Hitchcock used to say of, to come out of a losing streak, you're going to lose a game that you probably should have won. I hope that they built confidence from that game. I hope that they go out there and fine-tune a couple of areas that they still have issues with, but none of that matters if they lose against the Blue Jackets tomorrow.
They're back in action tomorrow night against the Blue Jackets. Alex will have your pregame coverage starting at 5 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN. Was encouraging to see Dalibor Dvorsky played really well in that game. He also had a good game out of Jimmy Snuggerud, too. Tonight, Game 6 in Major League Baseball's World Series. Dodgers at the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays can end this thing with a win against Yamamoto. People have had a tough time, though. Teams have had a tough time solving the Yamamoto riddle so far this postseason. T-Bone, how do you see this one going?
I think the Blue Jays win it tonight. I do not think there will be a Game 7. I think the fact that they were able to see Yamamoto will help them out. And I'm not saying that they score a bunch of runs on him, but I think tonight they do a better job of driving up the pitch count, getting him out of the game, and then they get to that Dodgers bullpen. I think it's going to be like a 3-1, 3-2 win for the Blue Jays.
I think Dodgers win this one, and then they win it Game 7 in Toronto in dramatic fashion.
I've got the Dodgers tonight, Toronto in Game 7, Yamamoto with a big one again tonight. Let's go through a few of these college football games that are going to be on the slate tomorrow. 11 a.m. Vandy at Texas. Texas, a 3.5-point home favorite in this game. Who do you guys like in that one?
Vandy and they cover.
Texas ABC.
Vandy and they cover. I don't understand this.
I'm with you. I think Vanderbilt wins this one. I just don't trust Texas's offense. And there's a question if Arch is even playing in this game.
Might be better if he's concussed.
Yeah, I'm going Vanderbilt wins.
I'm going to take Vandy as well. The Texas defense does give me a little bit of pause because Vanderbilt's offense did not look as good last week against Mizzou. And I think Texas's defense is up there similar to Mizzou. So I think it's low scoring. I like the under 47.5, but I do think Vandy ultimately wins this one on the road. There are not a lot of other great games in the college football slate tomorrow, if I'm just being totally candid. But Oklahoma at Tennessee. Tennessee's a 2.5-point favorite at home in this one. Basically, they're saying, hey, it's a pick-em between these two teams. Who do you like in this one, Alex?
I don't like either of these teams, so I'm going to just go with the home team and say Tennessee.
I am going to lean Oklahoma. I don't think Tennessee can get enough stops. I think they're giving up. It's like 30 a game in SEC play. So I expect that to continue. I give the edge to Oklahoma here.
Yeah, Mateer just hasn't been the same. That's part that for me.
He looked better last week, but yeah, it's still not quite what it was early in the season. Him and Bo Prabula, honestly, have had very similar seasons. Banged up, not quite looking the same once they got into conference play. I like Tennessee in that one as well. A game that I was thinking about taking for our pick'em, USC at Nebraska. Nebraska is a 4.5-point home underdog after extending Matt Rule earlier this week. How do you guys think this one's going to go? Any feel for it, Alex?
No, I don't have a feel for this one. I don't get this deep into the college football weeds.
Yeah, I really like USC in this one. Matt Rule, for all the talk of him going to Penn State, you know what he's not done at Nebraska?
Win
the big football game. So I expect them to find a way to lose that game. I don't think they're going to get enough stops. I think USC wins that one.
I have this strange feeling that Nebraska wins this one. I think Nebraska ultimately finds a way to win. And then I wonder what the conversation is going to be like around Lincoln Riley if that happens.
I don't know that any of these, like Florida, LSU.
Florida would make a lot of
Penn
sense
State,
for him.
Maybe Florida could sell it, but I don't know, LSU and Penn State couldn't. Doesn't he feel like he's going to do the same thing he did at Oklahoma? Whoa, okay, it's not going well. I'm ready to bail. Who wants to pay me?
I need to duck out.
I could see it because if he loses this game, they have to go on the road at Oregon still. They still have a game at home against Iowa. That is not going to be an easy one. Iowa's playing really good football right now, and they're really difficult to score against. So he could still have 4 or 5 losses on his resume. Once again this season, USC is not the kind of place that you can just do that consistently and feel like you're going to get away with it. So that's a game that I have my eye on this week, and it's kind of an under-the-radar interesting one. Who do you guys like, Chiefs versus Bills?
Well, first off, we skipped the best college football game.
They're out of the playoffs.
Illinois plays Rutgers.
Your team's
we
done.
still got to watch it.
No, we
Illinois is
don't.
going to cover 12.5. All right, I like Chiefs in the Chiefs-Bills game.
I like the Bills. I think Josh Allen wins it.
Do you just want me to feel sadness, or do you actually believe this?
Yeah, I always want you to feel sadness, but Bills.
I think the Chiefs will win this one. I think they end up winning by roughly a touchdown or so.
Same guy that literally I love it. This game means everything for the regular season. I said, PK, relax. No, it's everything.
Yeah, no, Chiefs,
everything.
Chiefs will lose.
If they could lose 3 in a row,
they're fine. It doesn't
PK
matter.
at 157. I like Chiefs.
Enjoy your Halloween night tonight. Be safe out there. If you're going out drinking, please call an Uber.
Don't be dumb.
Just be smart. We will talk to you guys on Monday at 11 a.m. For Alex Ferrario and Tanner Hendrickson and Bradford Bruns, I'm Brandon Kiley. Be safe out there. Enjoy your holiday weekend. We'll talk to you Monday. The Fast Lane's coming up next year on 101 ESPN.
Why don't the Mummies like to take days off?
They're tied up.
They're afraid to unwind.
I love Halloween.
The Spread Zone, where sports betting meets reckless optimism, questionable logic, and the occasional stroke of genius. With hosts Anthony Stalter, Tim McKernan, and Scott Rizzuto. Check out the latest from the Spread Zone at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. The Spread Zone is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment